Global wilderness survival comes to reality. All because Blue Star's resources are depleted. Every country will pick 100 contestants. The supplies gained from survival will be returned to their country at 10,000 times the amount. And you, a college student, are unexpectedly on the list. No one expects a fragile college kid to survive in the wild. They think you'll starve to death on day one. But what they don't know, your favorite hobby is outdoor adventure. Even in a primal forest, you can survive alone for 2.5 years. You open your eyes again. You're in a dense, wild forest. A cold voice rings out. Welcome to the strange wilderness. A total of 11,700 contestants this time. Everyone gets protective gear, multifunction backpack and thermal blanket. Plus, everyone gets 3 random survival tools. I need to check my backpack, fast. You quickly open your new backpack. There's a military shovel inside, a small iron pot and a roll of fishing line. Viewers in the live chat feel a chill. Because Jack from Lighthouse Nation got a military knife, a fire starter, and a bow. The Russian team got a combat survival knife and a wilderness first aid kit. Their gear is way better than yours. Your equipment is so bad. These college students won't last a day. Lighthouse Nation and Russia have the best gear. The gap is huge. As global viewers hotly discuss the gear for each team, that cold voice again echoes above every contestant. Warning, contestant Abdul killed by giant brown bear. Now 11,699 survivors left. Everyone immediately tenses up. They realize this is literally life or death. Meanwhile, you just put on your protective suit and backpack. You check the environment around you. Very humid. Soil is loose. Plants are dense. It's typical temperate deciduous forest. Judging by the sunlight above, it's about 10 a.m. now. Then suddenly, a system interface appears over your retina. Welcome to the wilderness check-in system. You can check in every 3 days of survival. You're in the strange wilderness animal forest area. Awarding new player gift, master level environmental awareness. A strange power floods your mind. Wind and humidity. Animal tracks and plant conditions. All this info now floods your senses. There's a creek 300 meters away. The water is very clear. Safe to drink directly. 700 meters northwest is a natural cave. Good spot for a shelter. There's bear scat ahead. Means large predators are here. This is master level awareness. With this skill, I'll be eating 3 meals a day, guaranteed. Elsewhere in Dragon Nation's capital, in a huge meeting room, over 100 survival experts are gathered. A giant screen shows the 100 contestants live. Luna's live channel, 80 million viewers. Tiger Chen's live channel, 60 million viewers. But your live room has only 300,000 people watching. Most people think it's boring watching weak college kids. A middle-aged man rushes into the meeting room. He is Li Jianjun, Minister of Emergency Management of Dragon Nation. Li Jianjun says, "We need a top command center to give technical and psychological support to our players. Because per the rules, players can get one message, under 100 words, each week, sent to the contestants. You start heading to the creek 300 meters away. When the creek comes into view, even you are surprised by how clean it looks. It looks incredibly pure. The occasional glow in the stream proves it's high-quality water. Time to fish. First, let's solve the food problem. You take off your backpack, pull out the fishing line and hook. Then you find a stick and make it into a fishing rod. With the shovel, dig up some fat earthworms. A few quick moves. Looks easy, but it's not. Soon you've picked a spot. Cast your hook. After 2.5 minutes, no sign of a bite. People in the stream are getting restless. Still no fish? Maybe there aren't any here. Typical weak college student. Doesn't even know how to fish. But then, the line suddenly tightens. You grab the rod. Feel a huge pull underwater. This fish must be at least 2.5 kilograms. It darts left and right, trying to get off the hook. But you handle it like a pro. No brute force. You guide it to the shallow water. After another 2.5 minutes, you land a half-meter carp. Just then, the harsh system voice echoes worldwide. First resource collected detected. Activating 10,000-fold return mode. Dragon Nation receives 10,000 wild carp. Dragon Nation, Central Square. A massive beam of light falls from the sky. A mountain of carp appears. Each one weighs 2.5 kilograms. The live stream goes crazy. Chats overflow with comments. Viewer count jumps to 3 million. Whoa! The 10,000-fold return is real. For God is awesome. These carp are so fat. For God really is an outdoor adventurer. But you don't know yet. One fish just caused a huge uproar. You cast your rod again. Within 10 minutes. The second fish bites. This time it's an even bigger grass carp. But no 10,000x return this time. Then a third fish bites. Still no super return system. Then, system voice again. Japanese contestant Matsushita Handbrake acquired a resource. Poisonous mushroom X3, Japan gets 30,000 poisonous mushrooms. Serves them right. Karma for the Japanese. Exactly what they deserve. Why is the bonus poisonous mushrooms? That's buggy. Matsushita Handbrake. This foolish woman. Indian contestant Laju acquired a resource. Rotten fruit X5, bonus, 50,000 rotten fruits for India. Korean contestant Park Dwandiao acquired a resource, stinky fish X2. Korea gets 20,000 stinky fish as a reward. The rewards for other countries are wild. Compared to them. For God's carp is like a God-sent prize. Viewers from Dragon Nation are laughing non-stop. That's the difference. Then, another system notification. Dragon Nation's Luna caught a wild rabbit. Reward, 10,000 wild rabbits for Dragon Nation. You see Luna's side. A wounded rabbit is lying on the ground. Luna says, little guy, maybe better luck next time. It's now 3 p.m. With the military shovel, you clean the fish expertly. Then decide to set up camp near the water. That cave you sensed before seems like a great spot. You start walking toward it, carrying your fish. The roar of a brown bear. A deer screech follows from afar. So there's a brown bear nearby. You stop in your tracks. Your eyes lock onto the source of the sound. You know, brown bears are insanely powerful and fast. You stand still, listening for movement in the distance. Your heart starts pounding faster. Not from fear, but from excitement. There's clean, steady water here. Plenty of fish. And thick vegetation. If that cave is good for shelter. And safe enough. The one who should be worried is probably the bear. You've faced big wild animals in your past life. Wolves, wild boars, even tigers. The key is using the right strategy. And picking the perfect timing. Use your brain. Not brute force. Do that, and these beasts are no problem. After watching for 2.5 minutes. You walk in the opposite direction of the bear. But yeah, better avoid messing with it for now. On your way, you keep picking up dry branches. It's about 800 meters. You walk for over 10 minutes. Not because the path is tough, but because you keep scanning your surroundings. Your environment sense is top level. Your brain works like a precise radar. Constantly picking up useful info. Finally, the stone cave appears in sight. It keeps out the wind and rain, no problem. But it's way too small. Not good for long-term living. This cave is tiny. Guess I'll make do for now. After a quick complaint. You put your backpack in the corner. Next, time to make a fire. You grab a big handful of fallen leaves. And the branches you just picked up. You choose 2 good pieces of wood. One as a fireboard. One as a spindle. Once you're set, you grip the spindle with both hands. And start spinning fast. Making fire with wood is super easy for me. I've trained in outdoor survival for 2.5 years. After 2.5 minutes. A wisp of smoke slowly rises. Once the fire's going, you start prepping dinner. You skewer 3 fish with sticks. Then roast them over the fire. 10 minutes later, all 3 fish are crispy outside and tender inside. Meanwhile, contestants from other countries are still looking for wild fruit. But you not only have grilled fish, you even boil a pot of water. Just as you're patting your happy belly, your master-level environmental sense warns you of something. There's a special herb near the cave entrance. You can brew tea with it, and it may even boost male vigor. Wow, that's awesome. Better go find some. You set down your fish. And start searching nearby right away. Sure enough, you find some slender green grass by a rock. It's called dragon's beard grass. You manage to gather 10 plants. Rare resource detected. Dragon Nation gets 100,000 dragon's beard grass. Global silence for 3 seconds. Then, total chaos again. No way, does it really boost vigor? Seriously? God of Fruits just gave a bonus to all the guys in the country. Thanks, God of Fruits. Gotta test it tonight. Perfect, I'll brew a pot with my little iron pot. Some fish. Some dragon's beard tea. Life doesn't get better than this. You put the freshly picked dragon's beard grass into the little iron pot. A fresh, fragrant scent fills the air. A bite of fish. A sip of dragon's beard tea. 2 grilled fish down. You're about 80% full. Save the last one for tomorrow. It's late at night. No light pollution here. You look up and see the Milky Way in the sky. Right then, you glance at your data panel. Current global deaths, 127 people. So many died on the first day. Hope everyone from Dragon Nation hangs in there. Then you add more wood to the fire. Next, with some fishing line and the iron pot, You rig up a simple alarm. Fire God is just too pro. He even made an early warning device. Other contestants are still shivering in fear, while Fire God's already enjoying life. After all that, you clutch your shovel and fall asleep. First light of dawn hits your face. You stretch. How should you plan the day? Let's see if environmental sense finds anything. Master level sense kicks in again. About 2 kilometers southwest, there's a nest of wild chickens. Your eyes light up with excitement. Looks like no fish for you today. You quickly pack all your gear. If there's no better place nearby, I'll come back later. You set out toward the chicken nest, moving and stopping along the way. To catch wild chickens, just a shovel isn't enough. I need to make a spear. It'll let me attack from a distance, and it's simple to make. Plus, it covers for humans' lack of speed and power. You plan it out in your head. The spear handle has to meet a few rules: very straight, hard enough, right length, decent weight. After half an hour, you find a suitable tree. With your shovel, you climb up quickly. One swing and you have a perfect spear shaft. Next, you carefully shape the wood with your shovel's blade. The tip takes form. After you start a fire, roast the tip to make it hard. The wood will be much tougher. The whole process takes about 40 minutes. On the way, you finish yesterday's leftover grilled fish and refill your energy, eating while checking your surroundings. Juggling tasks like this impresses the whole stream. You swing your spear a few times, happy with it. Time to face those wild chickens. Just as you're heading for the chicken nest, all Dragon Nation streams blow up. Guys, go check out the Japanese stream. Damn, something major just happened there. On the Japan stream, 2 players just ran into each other. The female ninja Matsushita handbrake and male fighter Little Jerk. Haha. The gods are helping Japan. They actually met up as a team. This combo is unbeatable. But then, in front of billions of viewers, they just hug each other tight. The stream instantly cuts off. System, this contestant has ended their stream. Fun fact. Each player can stop their stream for 2.5 hours a day. Viewers everywhere are stunned for 9.1 seconds. Then chaos erupts. Japan's high command. Faces go from excited to green in a second. Baka Yaro. You idiots. Is this really the time for romance? Meanwhile, you. Of course, you have no idea about the commotion happening outside. You're fully focused, moving toward the wild chicken's nest. Master-level environmental awareness constantly feeds you info about your surroundings. 100 meters ahead, 3 wild chickens are foraging. 2 are adults, and 1's a chick. The chick is about half the size of an adult. So basically, 2.5 birds. Not now. Take this. When you're 5 meters away, you stop. The 2 adult chickens are pecking at bugs on the ground. While the chick bounces nearby, you suddenly hurl your spear. The spearhead pierces right through an adult wild chicken. The other 2 birds freak out, scatter, and your mission is accomplished. This is a plump wild chicken, at least 3 or 4 pounds. Detected. Resource gained, Longwa receives 10,000 wild chickens. In the central plazas of all major cities in Longwa, 10,000 live wild chickens suddenly appear out of thin air. The sound of chickens fills the sky. It's an amazing sight. 10,000 wild chickens. Man, the chicken fire god is insane. Viewers in the live stream instantly break 500. Hey, what are you doing? You're already carrying the wild chicken through the forest. Master level awareness alert. There's a swamp 200 meters ahead on the left. There's a small puddle 300 meters to the right. But the water's murky. You shake your head, guess you have to go back to the old spot. Back to yesterday's fishing spot. You start prepping the wild chicken. These feathers could come in handy for making bows and arrows later. They add stability. You toss some inedible guts into the water. Soon, fish start to gather. Makes fishing easier, too. After quickly clearing a space, you set up a campfire and start fishing and grilling chicken at the same time. Maybe because of the bait guts. Over the next half hour, you catch quite a few fish. Detected. Resource gained, Longwa receives 30,000 mixed freshwater fish. Viewers jump past 8 million in an instant. You eat grilled chicken while cleaning the fish and get ready to grill them together. Nice. Right then, the system suddenly pops up a message. Longwa contestant gets 50 wild kiwi fruits. Longwa gains 500,000 wild kiwi fruits. But right after that, news comes in, Li Ming was killed by a wild animal. Hearing a fellow citizen has died, your mood sinks a bit. Out here, a moment's carelessness can mean death. Li Ming's death is a wake-up call for me. Even with environmental awareness skills, I can't let my guard down. You stop eating, stuff the rest of the food in your backpack, and put out the campfire. With that done, you grip your entrenching tool tightly and slip into the deep woods. Where's the fruit god headed? Guess he's upset. After all, someone just died. But Longwa survival expert Chinyi says. He's not shaken. He's actually the total opposite. He's more focused than ever. Just like Chinyi pointed out. My mind's never been so clear. I need a bow. A strong one. After walking 2 or 3 kilometers. Your awareness skill gives you a strong signal. 300 meters ahead. A huge, high-quality bamboo grove. You freeze in your tracks. Your eyes light up. Bamboo can be used as cookware. Bamboo shoots as food. And the right bamboo is perfect for making a bow. You pick up your pace. And soon reach the grove. You go check it out. The bamboo's quality is solid. All over 3 years old, good stuff. They've got top-notch flexibility and toughness. You stroke your chin, thinking. Now with materials for a bow. What about the bowstring? If I use fishing line, it'd probably snap after a few shots. If I take mulberry tree bark and tear it into strips, then soak, pound, and dry it, and twist it into fibers, and braid 3 strands into one, it'll make a tough, durable bowstring. The plants here are a lot like back in Lanshin. If there's bamboo, there's probably mulberry trees too. Decision made. You swing your entrenching tool, and chop down the bamboo you've picked out. Then a second and third stalk. I'm not just making a bow. I also need lots of arrows. And some defensive spike traps. Gain tons of strategic resources. Maozhu, Longwa receives 50,000 premium mature bamboo stalks. Placed in Longwa's southwest, on Jifeng Mountain. Where a bear mountain. Turned into a bamboo sea in just 2.5 seconds. Survival expert Chinyi comments. Most people probably don't know why the fruit kid is chopping all this bamboo. But I have a bold theory. He's making a bow. And arrows, he's gearing up a whole set. To dominate the wilderness. Deep in the forest. You've already made a giant bamboo raft. Take a deep breath. Then swing the big load, dozens of pounds, onto your shoulder. You start making your way step by step back to the shelter. Thinking about all sorts of traps you could make. Right then, comes a violent bear roar. Echoing from somewhere deep in the mountains. That bear again. Damn, that roar is intense. I feel like the sound waves are about to smack me in the face. It's not far from Fruit God. We're screwed. If he runs right into it, that's almost certain death. But hearing that blood-curdling roar, you barely even flinch. You quietly turn and listen closely. Only a fool would charge head-on. Bear hide thick enough for top-tier armor. Priceless medicinal bear gall. Hundreds of kilos of energy-packed meat. That's a treasure trove of resources. You stop hesitating. You keep hauling the bamboo along. Back at the shelter, you don't even rest. And immediately go to work on the giant bamboo. You grab your entrenching tool. And start cutting the bamboo down to size. You make a dozen or so sharp bamboo stakes. The most common and deadly hunting trap. In Wu Qianzhen's stream. All the viewers watching. Gasp in shock. Whoa, what's Fruit God up to now? Making all these spears? I've got a bad feeling about this. Are these for that bear? You bundle the finished sharp stakes up with vines. Wrap up the leftover grilled fish and chicken in big leaves. Grab your entrenching tool. And quietly slip back into the forest. Grizzly, your days are numbered. A gut-wrenching stench. Mixed with animal musk hits your nose. On the path in front of you. You spot a pile of poop. It's bear poop, and it's fresh. You carefully scan your surroundings. Once you make sure it's safe, you grab your entrenching tool and start digging. 2.5 hours later. About 2.5 meters wide. And 2 meters deep, the pit trap is done. Next, you stick sharp bamboo stakes. Deep into the soil at the bottom. Hope Bear likes the fancy mansion you built. Then you gather branches and leaves for camouflage. From far away, it just looks like a regular. No one would guess there's a deadly trap underneath. The sun starts to set. You head back to the stream. And fill up a pot with water. Then you grab some more firewood. You head back to your cave. Some chicken, some tea. This sense of satisfaction just makes you squint with contentment. No matter how good the food is. Without any salt. There's just something missing. All the sweat you lost digging that pit today. Your body's definitely complaining now. You can feel your muscles ache deep down. You're not as energetic as the past couple days. Tomorrow, you need to find salt. After eating and drinking, you don't rest. Instead, you keep working on your stove. Suddenly, thunder rumbles. Big raindrops start falling. Hitting the ground outside your cave one after another. But honestly, it doesn't affect you inside. After making a simple alarm device again, you finally go to sleep. The first thing you do when you wake up is check on the trap. After packing up your gear, an emotionless mechanical voice comes on. Global announcement, to make the competition more intense. 1,000 supply drops will be sent all over Wild Continent. They include food, water, first aid kits, and even firearms. They're literally airdropping guns. Is this wilderness survival or battle royale? Things are gonna get crazy now. Isn't this just encouraging the contestants to fight each other? Those people from Lighthouse Nation will love this. Out of their 100 contestants, at least 30 are SEALs. Retired Delta guys with guns? Instant massacre. This is just so unfair for our Longwa contestants. Everyone's attention is back on your live stream. After hearing the announcement, you just frown a little and keep moving toward the trap. It takes you over half an hour to get back to the trap you set up yesterday. Even from far off, you catch a faint smell of blood. Something fell in. Could it be Berda? You grip your spear and creep closer. The area around the trap is a mess. You rush over and take a peek inside. But it's not Berda in there. Instead, there's a big red deer. Clearly, it stumbled in during last night's storm by accident. Not a bear. But this deer must weigh at least 250 to 300 pounds. Score. Congrats, young man, for catching a large animal. The deer power reward. 10,000 wild deer. All of Longwa goes wild. Longwa's capital Central Square is filled with strong, living red deer, pouring out of the portal like dumplings. Deer running everywhere. It's just an unbelievable scene. The whole country is stunned for a second, then bursts out in cheers like a tidal wave. Damn, he's a legend. From today on, he's the only idol I have. 10,000 red deer? That's insane, what a resource. You stand at the edge of the trap. Watch for a bit. Then hop in. With your first cut you slash the main artery. Drain all the blood. Then you start butchering and deboning. In no time, this 300-pound beast is sliced into 7 or 8 parts. You carefully wrap up the best venison loin, along with a piece of rib. Then you hoist the heaviest back leg. Gotta get all that venison back to the cave fast, so wild animals don't steal it. Once back on the ground, you don't stop for a second. 10 minutes later, you make it to the cave. You have to bring back all the rest of the meat ASAP. Meanwhile, less than 100 meters away in the forest, a huge, almost ridiculous brown bear pokes its head out from behind the bushes. This bear is definitely over 3 meters tall. Its thick brown fur stands up like bristles. Its eyes are the scariest part, totally emotionless. It watches you leave. Massive paws pacing the ground anxiously. 20 minutes later, you show up at the trap again. But then you spot huge bear paw prints in the dirt. You get chills up your spine. That thing just left not long ago. It might even be nearby. Trying to steal my stuff? I'll skin you, bear. The anger in your eyes turns into a cold killing intent. Back in the cave, the deer leg is laid out on a cool slab of rock. But you really have no appetite. The more you think about it, the angrier you get. The more you try to let it go, the more upset you feel. So you just walk out of the cave without looking back. You decide to head a new way. To an unexplored area for some luck. You walk for a kilometer. Suddenly, you stop cold. About 50 meters ahead to the left, something moves. When you get closer, you find the mulberry trees you wanted so badly. Awesome, now I've got a bow and arrows. With mulberry bark shoes, that bear. Time to settle the score. Thinking this, you pull out your entrenching tool and carefully peel bark off the mulberry tree. 2.5 bundles should do it. You can make bowstrings when you get back. Once you're done collecting, you happily put on your backpack. Just about to head in deeper, when you feel a gentle tap on your right shoulder. It's soft and a little warm, like a hand. What the, who's there? Almost instantly, you swing your shovel back. But there's nobody there. The next second, a monkey screeches from the trees. You see a monkey hanging from a branch, grinning at you. The monkey tries to steal your backpack. Now you're really mad. A bear stole your meat. And now, even a monkey dares to mess with you. In the wild, being merciful is just being cruel to yourself. You grip your shovel tightly. The monkey's cries echo through the forest. After dealing with the monkey, you ignore the monkey's corpse. You have zero interest in eating that. Right then, the live stream explodes again. Go check on Kumar. Go check on Kumar. That guy is just insane. In Kumar's live stream room, the bearded contestant Kumar looks totally. Right in front is a freshly opened supply crate. Inside are a first aid kit and a few packs of compressed biscuits. But what's really eye-catching is, he's holding a giant lizard over a meter long. This contestant, Kumar, sure got lucky. He picked up the supply drop. And he caught some food. But then, the next second, Kumar on the live stream, watched by viewers worldwide. He gave a sly grin at the lizard. Then the stream instantly went dark. System message, this contestant has turned off the live stream. In 2 hours, it will be forced back on. The whole world went silent at that moment. I always thought the Japanese contestant was unbeatable. Didn't expect there were other pros out there. Even the survival master saw this, and could only sip water to ease the awkwardness. Meanwhile, you're still exploring the unknown area. 100 meters ahead is a swamp. You quickly change direction and walk around it. Soon, you find plenty of animal droppings on the ground. This must be a gathering spot for some animals. Or a daily route they pass through. You grip your spear tightly and blend right into the grass. In the center of a clearing up ahead, a young deer is licking at something grayish. Your eyes suddenly narrow. That's a salt deposit. These days. You relied on trace salt from food alone, and your body's starting to warn you. But now, a huge treasure appears right before your eyes. This mineral, I want it, and that deer too. So you slowly crouch down and move closer, waiting. Once you reach the kill zone, your spear flies out and strikes the deer dead on. The deer panics and bolts, but after a few steps, collapses. You walk up, pull out the spear, but don't rush to process the deer. Instead, you use your shovel to chip off a piece of the mineral. You stick out your tongue and gently taste it. Yep, that's the mineral. With salt, you can make jerky now. Preserve food long term. And your stamina can quickly get back to peak. Wild resources found, Deer Nation scores 10,000 wild animals. For the next while, you start striking the mineral hard. Each swing shakes your hands numb. You fill up almost half your backpack before stopping. Today, you scored a 40 or 50-pound forest deer. And over 20 pounds of coarse salt. Even the walk back feels lighter now. Right then, the system pops up a crimson alert. Jack from Lighthouse Country has eliminated Pedro from Pakistan. Someone's gone hunting for real. Jack, former member of Lighthouse Country SEAL Team 6, top elite Special Forces soldier, expert in jungle ops and assassination. For him, this wilderness isn't about survival. It's a hunting ground. The game's changed. Starting from this second, everyone alive in this wild could be the hunter or the prey. Back at the cave, you place a piece of mineral on a flat stone. Then grab another stone and smash down. Now you can get pea-sized mineral chunks. After lots of smashing, you've got a small pile of mineral pieces. You're doing this to refine them. This improves taste and gets rid of most heavy metals. Ratio of water to mineral is about 10:3. Next is heating the solvent. You dump the chunks into the iron pot. Keep stirring. Once it's dissolved, you pull out an empty bamboo tube from your pack. Add sand from the cave entrance, some ashes from the campfire, and finally charcoal. Now you have a simple filter. Pour salt water slowly into the bamboo tube. After filtering 3 times, pour the clean salt water back to the pot to evaporate and crystallize. As water evaporates, white crystals appear at the bottom. The refining process takes nearly 2 hours. When those snow-white salt crystals form, the whole live stream explodes with excitement. Wow, the refining actually worked. That salt looks even whiter than store-bought. This guy is seriously talented. After that, you repeat the process twice more, until the tube's stuffed full. And your stomach rumbles in protest right on cue. Time to enjoy today's spoils. You pull out the deer leg you got. Score a few cuts in the meat with your shovel. And sprinkle your freshly refined salt on top. About half an hour later, the deer leg's finally roasted. You take a bite, nod in satisfaction. Awesome, awesome. After you're full, you don't rest. Instead, you start making bowstrings. Mulberry bark fibers are strong and flexible. Perfect for bowstring making. You tear the bark into strips and start twisting them. Once the bowstring is ready, you grab the bamboo you cut earlier to make the bow body. Soon enough, a perfect bamboo bow is in your hands. Then, use thinner bamboo for arrow shafts and wild pheasant feathers for the fletching. All done. With this bow, that bear that stole my meat better pay up. I can test its power tomorrow. Next morning, sunlight streams in through the cave entrance. Today marks day 3. Wonder what reward the system gives? Detected, host has survived 3 days in the wild. Eligible for check-in. Check-in now? You silently say check-in in your mind. And turn off the live stream. If the system sends anything, no way I'll show it on camera. The clear view in Dragon Nation's streaming room goes black instantly. Billions of viewers freak out. Whoa, what's going on? Where's my survival master? Why did the screen go black? Hope nothing happened. Don't scare me, man. The survival expert rubs his chin and says slowly. My guess is, he's making some crucial tool. Or maybe a trap. Check-in successful. Reward received. Desert Eagle pistol. 30 rounds of ammo. I had bow and arrow as weapons. Felt I was in the era of cold weapons. Now, with this gun, I got straight into modern warfare. Wait, how do I explain it now? Can't just tell viewers when I restart the stream that I made this out of bamboo and vines, right? Supply drop versus supply drop. You stash the pistol and magazine deep in your backpack. After all that, you restart the stream. Left hand holding your new bamboo bow and arrows, right hand carrying the sharpened spear, and walk out of the cave fully armed. Viewers notice you heading towards the trap. Holy crap, holy crap. That's a huge bear. Are you just going with a bow and arrow? Gueshan is way too brave. Zhugang can even take on a brown bear. Chenye's face turns serious too. Little Gua made a bold choice. It's also really risky. Unless you hit the eyes or some vital spot, the outcome could be disastrous. But right now, you're super calm. You walk over to the trap the bear smashed earlier. The dirt around the pit is still soft. You can still see that giant bear paw print. You don't rush into action. You start resetting the lines instead. You stick the sharp bamboo stakes you dug up yesterday back in. You cover the hole with dirt and leaves to disguise it perfectly. Then you toss some bloody deer meat right on top of the trap. After all that, you climb up a big tree where you get the best view. You draw your bow. You aim right at the camouflage trap below. Everything's ready. You're like the most patient hunter ever. You blend in with your surroundings. You quietly wait for the bear to fall in. Bear, your lunch is served. Let's see if you dare to come get it. While waiting a long time, you stay totally still. To kill time, you open up your system screen. Lines of info start refreshing. Bruce from Lighthouse Nation got a resource airdrop. He got a compound crossbow set. Raj from India ate some poison weeds and died. Wang Xian from Dragon Nation discovered iron ore. A new open-pit iron mine showed up in Dragon Nation. Everyone still just has wooden weapons for now. Exploring is still the best way forward. Smelt the iron ore, forge iron weapons, and you can really grow. But first, you've got to take down this bear and stockpile food. Then go look for the airdrop. And make your pistol legal. Meanwhile, in another part of the forest, a fit figure moves silently among the trees. Female Commando Lang Yu. Her live stream is also super popular. Tons of viewers are watching through her eyes, experiencing textbook-level jungle infiltration. Suddenly, Ling Yu stops in her tracks. It's a small piece of shaved bamboo. She picks it up and examines it closely. Then looks over at a cave up ahead. She doesn't just walk in though. Instead, she scouts around the cave first. Soon, more signs of human survival appear before her. A stump cut by a sharp tool. Traces of blood from prepping animal guts. At last, she arrives at the cave you stayed in. There are still some hot ashes from the fire inside. Bits of ore are scattered on the floor. All these details add up, drawing a clear picture in her mind. Someone with serious experience, skilled hands, and who's already solved food, fire, and salt. A really powerful survivor. Whoa, that's some crazy luck. This is Guishan's home. That's your long-lost teammate. Everyone at Dragon Nation's command center stood up. They're hoping Lang Yu can meet up with you. Two top aces teaming up. Dragon Nation's chances of winning just skyrocketed. Too bad they can't do anything. Lang Yu watched the cave entrance for a whole 5 minutes. In the end, he chose to retreat. This territory is claimed. If you're not sure who's inside, friend or foe, one wrong move stepping into a strong opponent's turf. That's super risky. He needs to find other Dragon Nation folks who need help. He touched his backpack. He made the jerky inside himself. It's his ration. And it's hope for future teammates. You've been up in the tree for 4 or 5 hours now. Suddenly, an odd rustling sound breaks the silence. That's something bulky pushing through leaves and branches. You snap your eyes open. A ridiculously huge brown bear comes into view. It's pacing out from deep in the forest. It's bigger than you imagined. Standing up, it's definitely over 3 meters tall. The livestream chat explodes. Big bear? Yeah, that's Big Bear. Run, Guishan. Move. You can't pierce this thing with a bow. Chenyi looks dead serious. Now it all comes down to whether your trap works. The giant bear steps closer to the trap. It lowers its head, sniffing the tempting deer meat. But it doesn't touch it. It just circles the trap, sniffing hard every so often. It seems to know there's danger with this meal. Time ticks by. Your nerves are shot. The mealbone arrowhead is locked right onto the bear's eye. You're waiting for the perfect moment. Maybe the bear loses patience and steps into the trap. Or maybe it gives you a clear shot. The bear circles the trap 3 full times. But what happens next shocks you and Dragon Nation. Stuns millions of viewers. The giant bear doesn't lunge or test the trap. It carefully goes to the edge and moves its body like a person, slowly sliding down. Its massive body perfectly avoids the bamboo spikes. The camouflaged layer and deer meat fall into the pit along with it. This beast drops in without a scratch. Grabs the food. Holy crap, holy crap. Wait, this is a bear? Way smarter than Big Bear or Second Bear. The live stream chat is blown away. Everyone is shocked by the bear's IQ. Your hand on the bow is trembling with tension. You've thought of so many possibilities, but never expected this. The bear in the pit grabs the deer meat and tries to climb out. Millions of viewers are freaking out. This is your shot. Up in the tree canopy. You give a cold smile. As its head pokes out the edge, a whistling arrow shatters the silence. It hits the bear's forehead dead on. But this simple bamboo bow and deer bone arrow can't penetrate the bear's thick skull. Still, the impact lands a solid blow to its head. The bear cries out in pain. Its half-climbed body crashes back down. You hear multiple thuds as the spikes hit flesh. Those deadly traps finally do their job. A mind-blowing, furious roar bursts out. The whole mountain shakes. Birds scatter everywhere. Sweat beads drip down your forehead. You can't relax for a second. Quickly, you grab another arrow. If that bear dares show itself, it'll get punished again. The bear roars louder and louder inside the trap. Its giant paws smack the pit bottom wildly. Dust stirs up, billowing out the trap entrance. Suddenly, your vision is blocked. This bear's pretty smart. You hold your breath, listening closely below. The pawing fades, replaced by a scraping sound. It's climbing up, you grip the bow tighter. A massive shadow slowly rises. But this time, it's facing you. Even your calm nerves are shaken. In your head, you're cursing yourself. This bear's combat IQ is way above normal animals. Once it got shot, it instantly figured out where the threat came from, and quickly found the best move. Whoosh! The second arrow flies out. The sharp deer bone arrow hits the bear's back, making a leather-like sound. Then it bounces right off. Didn't even leave a mark. You realize things are bad. You reach for another arrow, but in just that split second, the giant bear has already climbed out of the trap. Its eyes lock straight onto you in the tree. Next second, it's like a runaway tank, charging the tree hard. It's over, it's over. How can you escape? I can't watch this. Someone save Guishan. Guishan's doomed. Brown bears hit way too hard. You've racked your brains. But in this situation, there's no way a human survives. The bear slams its body against the old tree. Then comes a second hit. The center of the trunk cracks open fast. Just as the giant tree is about to burst, you move both hands, grip your hardwood spear, and leap down at the bear below. Holy crap, holy crap. This is insane. Guishan's going all in. Everyone thought you gave up. But in the next second, they see you do something unforgettable. You drop like a human missile. Time seems to slow down. Fear flashes in the bear's eyes. Most of the spear buries into its head. The bear collapses, lifeless. You pull the spear out a few times. No more movement. Total silence. Dragon Nation live stream. Millions of viewers are stunned for over 10 seconds. Holy crap, holy crap. What just happened? A miracle, this is a freaking miracle. Guishan's awesome. That move was unreal. Chinyi slams the table, face bright red. This is nuts, little Gui is unbeatable now. Dragon Nation's contestant Xiao Gui becomes a hero after taking down a mutant bear. Dragon Nation will get 10,000 new dragon bears. Inside Dragon Nation, big forests and nature reserves, huge mutant bears start appearing everywhere. You have no idea about all the commotion outside. You take out your army shovel from your belt and cut open the bear's belly. Find a dark green pouch inside. Wrap the bear bile in a clean leaf and stash it in your bag. Then start working on the bear's skin. This is a huge undertaking. You cut off 4 of the best bear paws and a big piece of tenderloin. Wrap it all up with the treated bear skin. After finishing all this, you hoist the meat wrapped in bear skin and look nearby for a good spot. After just a few steps, you catch a familiar scent. Ditsong's eyes light up. Following the smell, you spot, not far away, on a hill, a patch of wild green onions is growing. You swallow hard. You haven't eaten in almost 10 hours. Plus you just had a life or death fight. You're totally drained. Seeing these onions now feels like discovering a delicacy. Man, what luck. You hurry to the onion patch and yank up a dozen big green onions, no hesitation. With these goodies, today's bear feast is gonna be epic. You find a flat spot nearby and start a fire. Put the bear tenderloin on a flat stone. Use your shovel to slice it thick. The bear meat slowly turns a delicious golden brown. You pick up a slice and take a bite. It's absolutely delicious. But even though it's tasty, bear meat is super fatty. Eating it alone gets greasy fast. Time for the onions to shine. Grab a green onion. Take a big bite. Spicy juices fill your mouth in a second. Then another slice of bear meat. This combo is unbeatable, a perfect match. A little white liquor would make this perfect. Once you find a good spot for shelter, the distilling plan should move up the list. Grilled meat with liquor, that's real living. Just as you're enjoying the meal, you catch something in the corner of your eye. A strange wisp of smoke rising over the forest. Instantly, you realize it's an airdrop. Excitement flickers across your eyes. You quickly estimate the distance. It's roughly 20 kilometers deep in the forest. At your current pace, it'll take a day to get there, no use rushing. Better fill up first. On a closer ridge to the airdrop, Lanyu also spots the red smoke. As a pro Special Forces soldier, he knows better than anyone how valuable an airdrop is. Weapons, gear, meds, and military rations. Any of them could boost survival chances a ton. Judging by the terrain, it's probably a wide, open valley. The ground is flat, so it's good for an airdrop landing. But that also means little cover. It's easy to be exposed. Lanyu weighs the pros and cons. The airdrop will draw a crowd of competitors. There's bound to be a deadly fight. With his own strength alone, his odds aren't great. But he has no choice. He has to fight for more resources for the country. Lanyu checks his gear. A military knife, homemade bow and arrows, jerky, and a bottle of water. He takes a deep breath and heads toward the airdrop. Oh shit. Lanyu the goddess saw the airdrop too. Now it's gonna get wild. Will God of Fortune and the goddess meet at the drop? Please team up, you two. You wrap some bear meat in big leaves and stuff it deep in your bag. Too bad your bag is too small. Most of the bear meat has to be left behind. Hundreds of pounds of bear on the ground. All lifesavers in the wild. But there's no way. One person just can't carry that much. So you head straight for the red smoke. On a slope closer to the airdrop, Matsushita releases the handbrake. Licks his lips. Babe, did you see that? The kid flashes a white grin. Of course I did. My little wildcat. We have to get that airdrop this time. The two gear up and hurry toward the drop. Live streams all over the world are going nuts. Damn, is this battle royale time? Those two jerks from Japan are still flirting. Sickening. They've got a numbers advantage. Other players are in danger. You're moving fast through the dense forest. With bear meat, bear skin, and all your gear, it easily weighs over 30 kilos. Your shoulders ache. Your steps are slowing down. If this keeps up, you'll never make it to the drop. You need a plan to pick up the pace. Right at that moment, that familiar system prompt sounded in your mind. Special mineral resources detected nearby. You feel like an invisible thread is pulling you, pointing toward a specific direction. You head the way your senses guide you. A naturally formed rock wall appears ahead. Whoa, real gold mine. In today's world, gold is real currency. Damn, hit the jackpot. You instantly pull out the entrenching shovel. The shovel strikes the rock. Crisp clinks ring out as you work hard. You finally unearth over a dozen high-purity gold ores. Dragon Country's contestant Xiaogua just found a natural gold mine. Reward, 10,000 big mines. The whole nation instantly erupts. Little hills pop up across the country. After storing all the ore, you shoulder your bag again and move toward the supply drop. The others must be rushing full speed too. Gotta hurry. But less than half an hour later, the sky suddenly turns stormy without warning. Dark clouds start rolling in. Then tons of hailstones fall from above. Panicking, you grab your iron pot. You slap it right on your head without thinking. But every hailstone hitting you hurts like hell. Soon your back and arms are covered in bruises. Man, this is brutal. You run with the pot on your head, looking everywhere for cover at the same time. You spot a cave under a rock wall nearby. This weather is nuts. Song Xiaoshu and that punk from Germany are running for their lives in the forest, even hiding under a big tree. The leaves can't stop the hail. Both end up with swollen, bruised faces. Jack from the States walks into the open. No shelter anywhere near him. A giant hailstone nails his knee after a few steps. He can't get up for a while. Hail smashes near the cave entrance. The cave gets colder and you exhale white breath. Looks like you're stuck here for now. You pull out the rest of your bear meat, getting ready to make a fire. With this kind of bad weather, fire making with sticks gets way harder. Usually, it only takes a few minutes. But this time, even after half an hour, no spark. Guess you really need flint. Right as you're about to rest and try again, suddenly, you hear footsteps outside the cave. You whip your head toward the entrance, silently gripping your shovel. Through the pouring hail, you faintly see someone closing in your direction. The figure becomes clear in the hail. It's a man, average build, with a bulging backpack. Which country's contestant is this? He walks to within 3 meters of the cave, sees your wary face, and looks very panicked. I mean no harm. He quickly throws his hands up. Wait, is this guy from the Tug country? He sees you don't attack right away. So he relaxes a bit. He slowly pushes his bag toward you. This is all my gear. Just want to hide from the hail. And I'm willing to share my tools. But you're still on guard. In a place like this, any stranger could be an enemy. But you are curious about his pack. The backpack's pretty full. Tons of stuff inside. He sees you're hesitant. Points at the dry sticks near the entrance. Then points at the pack he just pushed over. Your eyes light up. He's saying there are survival tools inside. Step back 10 paces first. You point the shovel and gesture further. He does as you say right away. Obediently backs up 10 steps. You open the pack to check. There's some compressed biscuits and canned food inside. Below are rope, knife, the usual gear. But the real surprise. A piece of flint at the bottom. You look up at the mixed race man. He's still got his hands up in surrender. What's your name? DuPont, Pierre. Didn't find anyone from your country either? Yeah, been alone the whole time. I had bad luck. Wandered for 3 days to get here. Most contestants just team up quick. Every man for himself when danger hits. What do you want? Pierre pauses a moment. He points at the cave. I want to hide from the rain with you. Okay, but there are a few conditions. A flash of excitement in Pierre's eyes. What conditions? First, listen to everything I say. Second, don't ask anything personal. Third, we split if danger comes. I don't mind teaming up for now. But don't expect to be friends. Except for yourself. You can't fully trust anyone. Pierre nods quickly. Then hurries to grab his pack and runs in. You start a fire. First, you dig a pit with your shovel. Then gather dry stones from inside. Arrange them in a circle. Pierre eagerly hands you flint and some dry grass. You take the flint. Scrape it fast with the shovel blade. A small flame chases away the chill soon enough. You roast the bear meat on a stick. Pierre swallows hard. He hasn't eaten hot food in 2 days. Want some? Pierre nods like crazy. Eyes full of longing. Really want it. Trade me your flint. A flash of anger in Pierre's eyes. But he quickly goes back to normal. And hands it over. That chunk of flint. You nod, satisfied. Fair trade. Thanks, really, thanks. He takes a careful bite. And squints with pleasure. So good. What meat is this? Bear? Pierre's eyes go wide. You killed a bear? You don't explain. Just keep roasting your own piece. Pierre looks at you differently now. Anyone who hunts brown bears alone is seriously top tier. Traveling with someone that strong, survival chances go up a lot. He's glad he picked you. Hail is still coming down outside. But it's like spring in the cave. You eat the hot meat in silence. No one speaks again. But besides the smell of meat, there's another vibe in the air. Pierre keeps sneaking glances at you. A glint of calculation in his eyes. You're incredible. Anyone who can hunt bears. I've never seen that before in my life. You don't reply. Just poke the fire with your stick. With your skills. You probably have a lot of great stuff. You finally glance at him. Pierre's heart skips a beat. He remembers your rule from before. No personal questions. We French have a saying. Friends should help each other. You saved me. I will definitely pay you back. In the live stream room, the viewers already noticed. This guy's eyes look off. Looks like a weasel plotting to steal a chicken. Guoshen, be careful. I think this guy is up to something. Night fell deeper. The hail outside finally stopped. Pierre checked his watch. Then glanced at you, resting with your eyes closed. It's getting late. Why aren't you sleeping yet? Without opening your eyes, you answer calmly. Aren't you still up too? Haha, I'm used to staying up late. You go rest first. I'll keep watch. I'll make sure nothing goes wrong. I won't get tired. Your answer completely shut Pierre up. Pierre grew anxious inside. But kept a friendly face. Then let's keep watch together. Whatever. Time slowly ticked by. Pierre seemed more and more restless. Excuse me. I need to go to the bathroom. A faint, cold smirk appeared on his lips. Who takes all their stuff to the bathroom? Whatever. Pierre acted like he was just pardoned. He rushed out of the cave. After he left, you suddenly got up. Kicked the campfire apart. Grabbed your gear. Moved silently. And melted into the darkness. You quickly found a spot behind some blocked rocks. Bow and arrow ready. You became one with the night. Knew it, this guy's definitely shady. Less than 10 minutes later, 2 sneaky footsteps came from far away. Ivan is in that cave. He's got really good gear. Are you sure he's alone? You didn't get spotted, right? I'm sure. I watched all night. It's just him. Ivan sneered. Take out his hands and feet first. Then grab all his gear. Leave no trace behind. Both of them rushed into the cave like starving wolves. But the cave was empty. Only some scattered ashes left behind. Pierre's face changed. No way, he was just here, how could he be gone? Ivan spun around suddenly. Glared at him viciously. You idiot. You've been spotted. Right then, an arrow shot through Pierre's thigh. The impact sent him flying to the ground. Ivan was shocked. He raised his machete and yelled at the direction the arrow came from. Who is it? Show yourself. A second arrow was the response. It went straight through his wrist. The machete clattered to the ground. Ivan screamed, clutching his bleeding wrist. You slowly stepped out from behind the rocks. Arrow aimed at them again. No words needed. You slowly drew the bow. Survival of the fittest. After taking care of them both, you started searching for loot. The night wind brought a strong smell of blood. You didn't care at all. Score. I'm rich now. Besides a few energy bars and half a bottle of water. There's also a brand new red first aid kit. Out here, that's basically a second life. And a Swiss Army knife. And Ivan, the big guy. His pack has half a dried rabbit. A roll of nylon rope. And the machete from the ground. These are dream survival supplies. You stuffed everything useful into your pack. Gave one last glance at the two bodies. Ice cold as ice. Better watch your back next time. With that, you vanished into the night. Meanwhile, the Dragon Nation's stream went wild. Comments exploded like a volcano. The screen was flooded with messages. Gueshen is unbeatable. That's the spirit our Dragon Nation guys should have. In the studio, Saw Binding slammed the table excitedly. A textbook reversal. He showed everyone with his actions. In the wild, the most dangerous thing is the human heart. But the Dragon Nation's joy contrasted with dead silence in some other countries. On the Global Emergency Channel, the Western rep's face turned red. He angrily accused Dragon Nation because of you. But the Dragon Nation rep fired back easily. It's just how the game's played. So the Western rep couldn't get what he wanted. Seeing they couldn't exploit the rules, the Daigua rep threatened fiercely. In 2 days, the players' comms channel will go live. Then I'll personally give the order. I'll call all surviving lay players. Chase you down at any cost. Once the Longwa team finished talking, the room turned ice cold instantly. But the Longwa rep just chuckled lightly. We'll be waiting. Now, in this strange wilderness, you haul your heavy loot on your back, moving quietly through the woods. The news about you taking out 2 foreign players has already been broadcast. Hidden deep under vines, Langyu is sharpening his army knife. His watch suddenly vibrates the next second. He quickly checks the screen. When he sees the battle update, his eyes narrow sharply. Little Gua did great again. Once he finishes talking, Langyu starts sharpening harder. He knows he can't fall behind. Meanwhile, other Longwa players also see the news. In their hearts, they all feel deep pride and hope. Soon, the eastern sky begins to lighten. You get up, pat off the dirt, then swing the heavy backpack onto your shoulders. Next, you get your bearings, and keep walking toward the red smoke signal. Determination shines in your eyes. After hours of non-stop trekking, your legs are like lead, every step aching bad, even starting to tremble a bit. So you stop to rest and recharge. With master-level environment sense, you head toward the moist air. Soon you hear running water. You quickly part the bushes ahead, and a little creek appears. The water isn't exactly clear. Tiny sand and dead leaves drift inside. But here in survival, this is life-saving. Now, you drop your heavy bag, pull out your machete, head to the water's edge, pick a tree as thick as a bowl, take a deep breath, and swing the machete hard. The blade sinks in halfway. You can't help but grunt softly, chopping over and over. In under 2 minutes, the sapling falls. You break it into firewood pieces, then take out your fire starter, scraping the black bar hard with the machete's spine. A shower of sparks flies, landing right on your dry tinder. In seconds, smoke rises up. A flame bursts to life. Soon, you have a cozy campfire. All your fatigue and chill melt away. It's so good to have fire. Then, using your army shovel, you dig a quick filter pit by the creek, layering sand, gravel, and ashes in turn. You scoop up the muddy stream water, filter it several times, then pour it into the iron pot, setting it on the fire. While you wait for it to boil, you pull out the half-dried rabbit. The meat is tough as wood, but to you, it's gourmet. Too much bear meat is cloying. Some rabbit is a nice change. Thinking of that, you take out your Swiss Army knife, cut the rabbit into small chunks, thread them on a stick, and roast them over the fire. Fat soon sizzles out, and the rich smell fills the woods. In the Longwa Live channel, countless viewers are glued to the tempting scene. Inside the studio, Saw Binding can't help but swallow. Beside him, Chen looks super serious. Little Gua's water purification method is classic and effective for survival. This shows serious wilderness skills. Meanwhile, in the West, you drink the boiled water and eat crispy, juicy rabbit. Your exhaustion slowly fades after a sleepless night. Soon you finish the last bite, cover the fire with sand, then pour water over it, and check carefully, making sure no embers remain. When you swing the heavy bag on again, you instantly feel recharged. You quickly find your direction and keep moving toward the airdrop signal. But after barely half an hour, you suddenly slow down. The forest is way too quiet. No birds or insects to be heard. A chill shoots up your spine. All your muscles tense up, and you grip the machete at your waist. Your master-level instincts fully kick in. You scan all around you, finally focusing between two trees up front. About 4 inches off the ground is a thin wire. It's an animal hair snare trap. The Longwa live stream explodes. In the studio, Chen stares intensely. This trap is set for humans. Little Gua is being targeted. Hearing that, everyone's anxiety spikes. But you do something nobody expects. You squat down slowly, reach out a finger, and quietly draw circles in the dirt. Moments later, a 3D attack map forms in your mind. Analyzing how the trap triggers, figuring where attacks might come from. Soon, you've spotted 2 perfect ambush points not far off. A cold smirk creeps onto your lips. You take 2 silent steps back and vanish the next second, blending into the shadows. Meanwhile, you pull out your homemade bow and knock a bone arrow. At the same time, 2 players are crouched in the ambush spot. Little Punk stares where you vanished. Frowning, did that guy spot something? He just finished speaking when a click comes from beside him. That snare was made using an old Wa method. He can't possibly notice it. Stay patient. Wait for him to set it off. Hearing this, the little punk relaxes. He licks his dry lips, his eyes full of greed. But time keeps passing, with zero movement by the trap. Both get impatient fast. Just then, there's a faint rustle in the bush nearby. The little punk jolts and whips his crossbow toward the sound. A rabbit pops out of the brush and dashes off the other way. The little punk lets out a long breath. But then a dark shadow suddenly flies over. An arrow pierces the punk's wrist dead on. A piercing scream echoes through the forest. Seeing that, the other guy rolls out fast, holding his knife and scanning the area. You walk up calmly, bow in hand, eyes cold, like you're staring at corpses. In that instant, your presence makes him forget to breathe. Who the hell are you? But you don't answer. You slowly raise your bow and aim at Matsushita Shousha. Seeing this, Matsushita Shousha quickly flicks his wrist. 3 sharp stones fly at you. At the same time, he rushes at you with a dagger. But you're even faster. With just a slight move, you dodge all 3 stones. Then you instantly draw your bow and fire an arrow. Seeing this, Matsushita Shousha quickly jumps aside to avoid it. But unexpectedly, the arrow shoots straight at the helpless Xiaobazai. He doesn't even have time to react before the ancient sword pierces his head. Seeing this, Matsushita Shousha is struck with shock. But you're already charging at him with your entrenching shovel. He quickly raises his dagger to defend. The shovel and dagger clash, sending sparks flying. A moment later, a huge force travels down the blade. Matsushita Shousha's hand splits open instantly. Blood drips out. The force shocks him back 2 steps. He barely manages to steady himself. His eyes are full of disbelief. Is this Dragon Country contender a monster? But once you land a hit, you keep swinging at him nonstop. At this moment, Matsushita Shousha grits his teeth and quickly raises his hand to block your attacks. Suddenly, his bones are hit with sharp pain. Matsushita Shousha is sent flying backward. He slams into a tree. Right away, you chase after him closely. You raise your shovel and swing it down hard at his head. Meanwhile, about a kilometer away, Lingyu stops after hearing a scream. He instantly finds the direction of the sound. But Lingyu doesn't rush forward. Instead, he hides all signs of himself and moves toward the source of the sound. Soon, Lingyu arrives behind a giant banyan tree. Just as he's about to look ahead, suddenly, a jet black arrow flies out from behind him. Lingyu instinctively rolls to the side. But the arrow still sinks deep into his thigh. A searing pain explodes instantly. Lingyu lets out a muffled groan. Blood quickly soaks his combat pants. He grits his teeth through the pain. He immediately rolls into the thick brush. Then he draws his dagger, staring in the direction the arrow came from. Footsteps soon approach. A tall white guy walks out with a grin. China's little kitty sure is quick. Too bad you're still a step slow. Behind him are 2 strong men. They're all Beacon Country contestants. The white guy isn't in a hurry. He gives Lingyu a cold, creepy look, eyes on the bloodstains. Let's have some fun with you. With that, the three of them split up in a practiced way. They form a standard tactical triangle search. Slowly, they start to surround where Langyu is hiding. Meanwhile, you're scavenging gear off the Wokoku contestants in the jungle. Just then, two global announcements ring out. Dragon Country contestant Xiaogua eliminates Wokoku contestant Matsushita, first kill. Dragon Country contestant Xiaogua eliminates Wokoku contestant Xiao Bazai, dominant. The Dragon Country livestream goes wild. But the Wokoku stream goes silent. You collect all usable arrows. Then you loot a dagger and half a canteen of water from the two bodies. Finally, you head for the airdrop without looking back. Half an hour later, you finally reach your destination. There's a massive metal crate lying quietly in an open spot. You don't go forward right away. Instead, you scan the area warily, making sure there's no ambush. Then you calmly say, "Stream off." The watch dims instantly. At the same time, screens go dark for billions of viewers worldwide. Why did Guoshan shut off the stream? Guess we'll find out what's in the box. You ignore all the chaos online. You slowly pry open the metal crate. Inside are several sealed bags containing high-yield, cold-resistant potatoes and fast-growing, drought-resistant corn, and high-protein soybeans. Other than that, there's also a more advanced military first aid kit, a multi-purpose axe and pliers, and a palm-sized solar charging panel. You spot this and your eyes light up. Seeds that can reliably produce food. They're worth way more than any weapon. Thinking this, you quickly stash everything in your backpack. Then, you take out your M1911 pistol and 2 magazines, and place them into the empty metal box. After all that, you're just about to restart the live stream. Right then, you suddenly feel a strong sensation in your body. A lot of people are approaching. You instantly narrow your gaze. You quickly dart behind a giant tree. Soon, footsteps and voices echo in the woods. 3 contestants from the Lighthouse Nation appear in the clearing. They're also dragging someone between them. It's the injured leader from the Lighthouse team, Cold Moon. Kane glances over the supply drop, then sneers and says, "Come out. Friends from Dragon Country. I know you're here. If you don't want your teammate hurt, hand over everything in the supply drop, no fuss." After he finishes speaking, you don't move. Instead, you rapidly analyze the situation. 3 enemies are fully armed. They're holding compound and recurve bows. There's also a big guy with a mountain axe. But on my side, Cold Moon can't fight anymore. A straight fight isn't likely to end well. No one responds. Kane loses patience. He signals to the big guy. The big guy grins wickedly, then places the mountain axe on Cold Moon's neck. Seeing this, you slowly step out from behind the tree, hands raised, looking a bit tense. Don't hurt him. Everything is in the box. You can take it. Kane is satisfied and laughs. That's more like it. Open the supply drop. Let me see what goodies you got. You walk slowly toward the metal box. Then squat down in front of it. Pretend to struggle with the lid. But your hand is already inside the box. Kane doesn't notice. Instead, he impatiently urges you to hurry up. Hurry up. You reply quietly. Almost done. Next, you spin around holding the pistol. And quickly pull the trigger. 2 gunshots echo in the woods. The 2 men behind Kane drop to the ground. Kane is now terrified. He never saw this coming. You actually have a gun. Kane instinctively raises his compound bow to fight back. But you're even faster. You pull the trigger. 2 shots fired. One shot knocks the bow from Kane's hands. The other hits his shoulder. Kane lets out a painful howl, then scrambles into the dense woods. The forest returns to silence. You put away your pistol. Walk over to Cold Moon. Take out a knife and cut the ropes. Cold Moon sits against the tree, clutching his bleeding leg. He looks at you. Shock and gratitude fill his eyes. Meanwhile, the global live stream is a mess. Everyone thinks the pistol came from the supply drop. Dragon Country erupts in celebration. Lighthouse Nation is gloomy. Cold Moon hoarsely says thanks. You just nod. Then crouch down beside him. Take the military first aid kit from your backpack. Open it, it's fully stocked with tools. You pick up the surgical scissors. Slowly cut open the fabric around Cold Moon's wound. And firmly hold her thigh with your left hand. Then grip the shaft with your right. Push hard. The arrow is instantly pulled out. But blood gushes out right away. Cold Moon clenches his teeth. Sweat beads on his forehead. While you keep your cool, quickly disinfect the wound. Then take out a needle and thread for stitches. Every move is textbook perfect. Cold Moon sees this. Can't help but ask. Who are you really? You don't look up. Focused entirely on your work. Dragon Country contestant, Xiaogua. There's info about me on my watch. Cold Moon hears this. He doesn't ask again. Can tell you don't want to answer. Soon, the stitching is done. Cold Moon solemnly says, "This favor. I'll remember it." You finish packing up the first aid kit and stand up. As long as you're alive, Dragon Country has hope. Right now, we're just 2 numbers on the survivor list. Finishing, you quickly start cleaning the battlefield. Grab a tactical vest, a compound bow and a full jug of carbon arrows. After packing everything, you reach out to Cold Moon. He'll be back with more people soon. We need to leave here now. Cold Moon immediately takes your hand. Uses your strength to stand up. Where are we going? To find a new shelter. Gather all Dragon Country contestants. A new home where they can be safe. You finish speaking and glance at the distant mountains. Deep in the woods now. Kane is running wildly. The pain in his shoulder almost makes him faint. But he doesn't dare stop. Scenes from before keep replaying in Kane's mind. Fear fills him. Then comes humiliation and rage. Kane grits his teeth and says, "Xiaogua. I swear I'll make you pay 100 times over." With that, Kane speeds up. He wants to bring this intel back. Then rally the Lighthouse Nation. And tear you apart. A cool breeze blows through the woods. You help Cold Moon deeper into the forest. The trees get thicker all around. It's getting darker. You carry all Cold Moon's weight, while using master-level environmental sensing to check your surroundings. Night is falling fast. You stop under a huge ancient tree. "Let's spend the night here." After saying that, you start unloading gear. First, lay out a big bear skin to block out moisture. Then pull out all sorts of weapons from your backpack. Finally, all kinds of supplies. Cold Moon stares at that pile, dumbfounded. He thought he was the best from Dragon Country. But next to you, he's just playing wilderness games. You now sort all your gear. Organize the weapons. Keep them within closest reach. Other items go into 3 backpacks. Ready for quick evacuation. After all that's done, you grab the cooking pot and 2 water bottles. And hand the fire starter and a knife to Cold Moon. You stay here and keep warm. Keep your body temperature up. I'm getting some water. And maybe some food. Your wound needs clean water. Stay alert. Cold Moon nods and takes your supplies. While you vanish into the dark woods. Leaving the camp. You don't go far. You use your master-level environmental senses to check the area. Soon, you catch a faint sound of water to the west. So you grab the pot and bottles and head that way. About 10 minutes later, a clear stream comes into view. You squat down. Scoop up some water to check for any smell. Only then do you take out your canteen to fill it. Suddenly, a buzzing sound catches your attention. You look toward the source of the noise. You see a beehive hanging from a tree. You instantly get an idea. Honey is a great source of sugar. With that in mind, you quickly scan your surroundings. Your eyes lock onto some mugwort and dry branches. A plan forms in your mind immediately. You walk over to the mugwort. Pick some leaves. Then gather lots of dry branches. You head back to your spot. Take out your flint stone. With a click, sparks fly. The sparks hit the dry branches precisely. Flames rise up instantly. You wait for the branches to turn into red embers. Then cover them with mugwort. Soon, thick white smoke starts pouring out. You quickly wrap a few big leaves around the mugwort, leaving just a small opening for smoke to escape. Inside the Dragon Country studio, Chinyi pushes up his glasses. Smoking with mugwort really works. But smoke density, timing, even wind direction can mess it all up. Xiaogua actually used the simplest materials and perfectly recreated the technique. On screen, you're already holding the smoky torch near the hive. Thick smoke keeps rising. The hive suddenly explodes with action. Countless wild bees pour out. They dive right into the smoke. Like drunk people, they fall weakly to the ground. Your expression doesn't change. You patiently keep smoking the hive at a steady pace. 5 minutes later, the hive goes completely quiet, and the golden beehive is out in the open. You quickly draw your knife and cut off a big chunk of the hive shell. Then carefully put it in your mess kit. Suddenly, alien text floats before your eyes. Contestant Xiaogua found a rare resource. Wild Trigger, X10000 resource reward. Reward being distributed. The notice flashes by. You don't get distracted. Instead, you grab everything and get ready to leave. Right then, your whole body tenses up. A wave of killing intent comes from the bushes nearby. A pair of eyes peeks through the leaves and locks onto your back. You slowly set down your canteen and mess kit, moving so softly there's not a sound. Meanwhile, in a Dragon Country no man's land, giant wild beehives start appearing out of nowhere. In the Central Action Command Center, calls come one after another. 10,000 wild beehives have appeared across the country. After the news spreads, Dragon Country erupts. Back in the studio, Chinyi stares at Pai Xiaogua. That pose doesn't look right. Looks like something's up. Your muscles are tense. You glance toward the bushes. An adult gray wolf leaps out. It crouches low, sniffing the air constantly. You slowly reach for the gun at your waist. Just as your fingers are about to grab the gun, the wolf raises its head and lets out a long howl. With the wolf's call, your heart sinks. You know the wolf is calling its pack. Thinking quick, you pull out your gun. A gunshot rings out in the night a second later. The wolf's brain gets pierced by the bullet. Its huge body hits the ground hard. But it's already too late. Distant wolf howls keep getting closer. The sound gets louder and closer. And more frequent. You look at the dead wolf in front of you. A wave of regret. You grit your teeth and grab your mess kit and canteen. Then sprint toward the camp without looking back. Now, time means life. You have to break out with Lengyu before the wolves surround you. Meanwhile, Lengyu already heard the gunshot and the wolf howls. He jolts up from beside the campfire. Grips his spear tightly in his right hand. Even with the sword wound on his thigh still stinging, Lengyu still gets battle ready. He knows better than anyone what happens when wolves close in. A look of determination flashes across Lengyu's face. If I can't get away, I can't drag Xiaogui down with me. With that, he quickly stuffs the supplies into his backpack. Then he pulls out his knife and gets ready. Just then, hurried footsteps come from the woods. Lengyu instantly takes a fighting stance. But to his surprise, you dash out of the trees. At least 7 wolves are closing in on us. We need to move now. Hearing this, Lengyu immediately nods. The stream. We can use the water to hide our scent and tracks. With that, you quickly stomp out the campfire. Then you and Lengyu leave camp one after the other. The two of you move quickly through the darkness. You lead the way, cutting through the brush with a machete. Lengyu follows behind, gritting through the pain. Soon, low growls from wolves surround you from all sides. The lead wolf lets out a sharp howl. Then the whole pack charges after you. You can feel the killing intent closing in behind. Luckily, the sound of rushing water grows louder ahead. Now you can see the shimmering water in the moonlight. But right then, a gray wolf lunges from the side like a shadow, heading straight for Lengyu. But Lengyu senses it in time. He suddenly swings his machete. But he's no match for the charging wolf. Just as the wolf's jaws are about to bite his shoulder, you spin around and fire your gun. The bullet hits the wolf right in the back. It just collapses, howling in pain. But it's not dead yet. Now, you've given away your position. Wolves close in from every side. Countless glowing green eyes light up among the trees. You grab Lengyu's arm and shout, "Jump!" As soon as you finish, the two of you leap together, jumping into the icy creek. The current sweeps you downstream. On the bank, the wolves stand clustered. They don't dare go in the water right away. They just glare at you, growling angrily. Just when you think you're safe, the pack, led by the black wolf, suddenly runs down both sides of the river. You realize you're in trouble. Those beasts are going to flank us on the other side. At that moment, Lengyu looks terrible. She can barely talk now. You notice something's wrong instantly. You frown and quickly ask, "What's wrong with you?" Lengyu's voice is rough, her eyelids heavy and slow. The sword wound is infected. Hearing that, your heart sinks. Out here, an infected wound is basically a death sentence. Now, he's struggling just to stay afloat. You can only hold him with one arm, so he doesn't get washed away. On the bank, the wolves split into 2 packs, running along the riverbank. They're trying to cut you off downstream. Meanwhile, in the studio, host Shunshue's nails dig into her palm. Chinyi stares grimly at the screen. A high fever caused by an infected sword wound. Without antibiotics, out in the wild, the mortality rate is over 80%. Xiaogui is now facing a tough choice in the rapids. Lengyu insists, "I'm slowing you down. Forget me, just get past them downstream." But you just grit your teeth and say, "Don't talk yet. And don't fall asleep. If your life is truly in danger, I'd leave you behind. But not now." A second later, a wolf pack howls from the bank. They're still chasing you. But Lengyu is getting weaker. All you can do is adjust, hold her in your arms, and keep going. The creek water is icy cold. But Lengyu's body is burning hot. You know all too well. His life is slipping away. Even worse, the wolves have already moved downstream. Seeing this, you feel desperate. And head for the riverbank. You have to get out soon. If not, we're doomed. Luckily, by the moonlight, you spot a gentler, shallow spot ahead. You use every bit of strength to swim for it. By now, Lengyu has lost consciousness, barely breathing but still alive. Soon you reach the shallow bank, and with your last bit of strength, drag Lengyu ashore. But before you can even catch your breath, you hear the wolves' footsteps coming closer. So you quickly pick up the unconscious Lengyu and search madly for somewhere to hide in the moonlight. Before long, a pitch-black cave mouth appears in the mountain wall ahead. With no time to think, You carry Lang Yu and rush inside. Good thing, the cave is bigger than you thought. It's a natural rock cave. About 10 or so meters deep. But there's a clearly cleaned off area on the floor. And some small man-made shelves in the rock wall. For storing things. More importantly, there's still a faint smell of smoke in the air. Your heart skips a beat. Someone clearly lived here. But Lang Yu's wound needs attention now. So you gently lay Lang Yu down. Then pull out your first aid kit. But there's only some basic supplies inside. Far from enough for an infection like this. Then, as if things weren't bad enough, howling comes from outside the cave. You hold your breath instinctively. Then raise your gun to protect Lang Yu. Moonlight slants into the cave entrance. And you see several black figures moving outside. A gray wolf carefully creeps up to the cave. Its nose sniffs the air constantly, trying to catch any scent. Suddenly, Lang Yu spasms, making a faint sound. The gray wolf instantly perks up its ears. Just as it's about to poke its head into the cave. Far off, the lead wolf calls out. The gray wolf hesitates for a second. Then finally turns and leaves. You breathe a long sigh of relief. Soon, the wolf's footsteps finally fade away. Only then do you dare strike a spark to check the cave. Deeper in, there's a stove made from stones, with some dry wood stacked nearby. In a little pit in the cave wall, there's even an old tin can. You open it up, and find some herbal scraps left inside. Just then, Lang Yu groans in pain. You quickly turn to check on him. Lang Yu's eyelids barely flutter. I'm so cold. You know it's a high fever messing with her body heat. So you quickly cover Lang Yu with a bearskin. Then get a fire going right away. With the dry wood in the cave, you soon get a good blaze going. Before long, the heat pushes away the damp chill. You start to treat Lang Yu's wound. The area around the wound is swollen badly, with yellow-green pus oozing out. You rinse it gently with water first, then use a wet cloth to lower her fever. Once you're done, you put a pot over the fire, and cook up some bear meat soup. Your soaked clothes slowly dry in the heat, and for the first time in a while, you feel real warmth. Tense muscles and nerves start to relax. While waiting for the broth to cook, you slice some bear meat with your knife. Then you skewer the slices on a stick, and place them over the fire. Next, you drizzle honey over the meat from your backpack. Soon, the whole cave is filled with the smell of roasting meat and honey. Cold Moon quietly lies on the bear skin. His fever has finally gone down. His breathing is steady now. Seeing this, you finally feel a bit relieved. We made it through at last. You cut off a small piece of roast meat with the tip of your knife. Let it cool, then eat it. The honey-soaked juices burst on your tongue. While chewing, you start to think ahead. I should be able to check in tomorrow. Going by the system's pattern, I should get a new reward then. I wonder what it'll be this time. You enjoy a rare moment of peace in the warm cave. But you have no idea that a storm is brewing across the Dragon Nation. A crisis is taking shape. Right now, countless eyes are fixed on the ever-changing numbers in the live stream. Only 5 hours and 12 minutes until communication opens. At the Lighthouse Nation's Operations Center, several high-ranking officials are discussing their strategy. Once communications open, notify all contestants, no matter where they are to gather at the Central Mountain region. If you see anyone from Dragon Nation, eliminate them on sight. Also, the Wano and Stick Nations must hate Dragon Nation too. We can form an alliance. Meanwhile, the lights burn bright inside Dragon Nation's Magic City. High-level officials from over a dozen countries sit around the table. Defense Minister Chen Xing says that after communications open, other countries might team up against us. Right now, Xiaogua and Cold Moon are in the Central Mountains. Wang Xian found an iron mine in the Eastern Plains. The other contestants are farther away, so gathering quickly will be tough. The room goes dead silent. A moment later, the defense minister says seriously, after communications open, warn all our contestants. If you meet contestants from other countries, try to move toward Comrade Xiaogua. Group up. If attacked, do not hesitate. The first sunlight creeps into the cave. You, who didn't sleep all night, stand up. You see Cold Moon still resting. You decide to check outside the cave. There's no sign of the wolf pack now. But not far away, you spot a dark, dried pool of blood on the ground. You follow the bloodstains with your eyes. There's a ripped-up backpack on the ground. You realize what happened right away. Looks like someone unlucky crossed paths yesterday and drew the wolves away for us. Thinking of that, you hurry over and check the backpack. The contents are scattered everywhere. A standard issue knife, a military compass, and a medical kit. You gather up the 3 items, satisfied. Just then, your fingertips bump a hard corner inside the med kit. You open it up and find a foil packet. A single blister-packed pill sits at the bottom. Your eyes narrow as you recognize it. Amoxicillin. That poor guy. actually had something this valuable. You quickly pocket the pill. Then, you head back to the cave. By now, Cold Moon is awake. He leans against the stone wall. Still pale. But the focus has returned to his eyes. He looks much clearer now. You walk into the cave. You're awake. Take this. I'll roast more meat for you. You hand him the antibiotics. Cold Moon takes the capsule. Puzzled, antibiotics? Where'd you get these? You go over how you got them. Then, you start prepping for the new day. Cold Moon knows how valuable antibiotics are out here. They're a true lifesaver. He looks at you silently. He doesn't ask any more. He just swallows the pill right away. Suddenly, an awkward sound rumbles in his stomach. But Cold Moon keeps a calm face. I've got some jerky left in my backpack. Grab it and eat. He made the jerky from rabbits he hunted earlier. He'd been saving it all this time. But you grin and say, let me cook you something better. Then you pull out some thick bear meat slices. You quickly skewer them on a stick. Then take out a big chunk of honey. You spread it evenly over the meat. The next second, the delicious smell fills the cave. Cold Moon is totally stunned. You actually have bear meat and honey? Lise doesn't even look back. And answers casually. Killed a bear a few days ago on the way. And picked up a beehive too. Just then, both of your watches start buzzing. A new, highly important message comes in. It's a command to the Dragon Nation team. Cold Moon reads it. And his face turns deadly serious. He clenches his fist hard. Looks like we're the targets now. Let's see who's really the prey here. You hand him the cooked meat. A cold light flashes in your eyes. Eat first and get your strength back. We need to find a good spot nearby. Build a shelter. And get ready for both our allies and our enemies. Cold Moon nods at your words. He takes the roast meat. As you plan your next move, the system voice suddenly chimes. Host has survived in the wild for 7 days straight. Sign-in conditions met. Sign in now? The next second, you leap to your feet. I'm going outside for a look. Gonna check the area out. Need to prep for building the shelter. Cold Moon just gives a simple nod. And keeps eating the roast bear. You quickly leave the cave. Find a hidden bush. Make sure nobody's around. And turn off the live stream. Then you sign in right away. Sign in successful. Congrats, host. You got a god-tier reward. Master level forging. Right after that, a huge wave of info floods your mind. From basic stone tools, to bronze smelting, to advanced steel forging, ancient craftsmanship, and modern industrial know-how all blend together. Blueprints flash in your head. From deadly sharp tang swords, to unbreakable heavy armor used at sea. A semi-automatic bed crossbow that can even shoot bolts. With no firearms right now. You can imagine how deadly this is. Thinking of that, you slowly open your eyes. Like team attacks, huh? Then let me show you a steel flood. Moments later, you head back to the cave. Lang Yu is carefully sharpening arrow shafts with a knife. He sees you walk in. He speaks up firmly. We have to leave here as soon as possible. And build a shelter. The enemy is gathering right now. Every minute we delay, the danger gets bigger. You nod, seeing his determined eyes. Alright, let's go now. With that, you both stop talking. And start packing up fast. You repack the rest of the supplies. Lang Yu checks his own gear. Soon, you walk out of the cave. You set off north, following the compass. On the way, Lang Yu surveys the terrain. And gives his professional advice. The shelter must be easy to defend but hard to attack. Best if there are natural barriers and steady water. And it's got to stay hidden. You just scan the mountain passes. We need mines too. Iron or copper is good. The more, the better. Lang Yu hears that. And just looks at you intently. These days, he's come to trust you completely. So he really trusts your decisions. Meanwhile, across the wide wilderness, all Team Dragon players are heading the same way. Some are covered in wounds. Some look thin and starving. But every one of them presses on. Cheering fills the Team Dragon stream. Everyone back home is cheering for them. But danger is gathering too. At a wide river valley, Gohan sets fire. 7 or 8 foreign players assemble. They're well equipped. Looking cocky. Kane, who escaped your gun, is there with them. He looks off in the distance, smirking. Some Dragon team members are pretty cowardly. Just need a little trickery. That Dragon player we caught will turn traitor for sure. So we camp here. And wait till their friend comes. Right then, in the forest. You suddenly stop. Lang Yu notices. And grabs his bow, alert. What is it? You don't answer. You just close your eyes slowly. Thanks to Master Smith's skills. You sense how metal ores lie underground. You feel a faint awareness. The earth seems packed with copper and iron treasure. Moments later, you open your eyes. And focus southeast. At a steep mountain. Mist swirls around mid-slope. A massive waterfall drops from the sky, crashing into a deep pool. Bare red rocks glint dark in the sunlight. You calmly say, "Found it." As you finish, Lang Yu looks where you're looking. "Isn't that spot way too obvious?" Yet you grin a little. "Obvious is good, helps our people find us. There's endless water over there. And the nearby forest means near unlimited fuel. Most important of all, there's a massive hematite vein." Hearing that, Lang Yu's eyes go wide. Not just because hematite matters. More because he can't believe you spotted iron from so far away. But he doesn't ask more. Just firmly responds, "Let's go." In the stream. Comments flood the screen. All stunned and hyped by your find. In the studio. Chinny grins, face red with excitement. That mountain and waterfall give endless water and natural defenses. The shelter here is big enough for thousands. You could even make farmland. Now you all reach the base of the mountain. Mist hits your face. That cool air feels amazing. It's a natural ring-shaped valley. On the left, 100-meter cliff with a hanging waterfall. Sheer cliffs on the right. Flat ground holds rich black earth, full of wild bushes and grass. And endless forest beyond the plain. Seeing that, Lang Yu's eyes shine like never before. This is the perfect shelter spot. And we have the only entrance. Dragging Lang Yu to the bare mountain wall. You reach out. Touch the dark red glowing rocks. The stone feels hard. Cool to the touch. Lang Yu scrapes it with his knife. Rust red powder falls off. It's really hematite. Lang Yu looks back at you. Eyes complicated. You speak, sounding tired. "This should be home for Team Dragon." Then you drop your heavy pack. And lie down in the wild grass, sighing with relief. Days of travel and fighting left you drained. And you haven't slept well lately. Lang Yu says seriously, "Get some sleep." "I'm right here." Then starts collecting branches nearby. When you've rested a bit, you help out. The global stream goes nuts. Dragon Team viewers are thrilled. They can already see the mighty shelter rising up. Other countries' viewers all start trash talking, saying this will be Team Dragon's grave. In the footage, on a ridge dozens of miles away, two figures watch from afar with binoculars. They're Leo and Hans of Team Sweden. Right now, Leo looks stunned. Says, "Never saw a waterfall that huge. Should we go check it out?" Hans just shakes his head. "Right now. Other teams are fighting like crazy. Our plan is just to survive. Make it to the end. Let's wait and see. For now, let's find our teammates." They pack up their binoculars silently and vanish into the forest. By the waterfall valley, you walk to the emerald green pool. Forging always needs water. And so does living. So you have to check if the water's safe. Thinking that, you walk along the pool's edge. The water is crystal clear. You even spot some fish swimming around. But you suddenly frown. Way too quiet. This huge pond has zero sign of big water animals. You look at the pool's deep, shadowy center. The water there is a dark green-black. And a hint of danger seems to seep out. You touch the pool with your finger. A wave of dread jolts through you. You yank back your hand. Stagger back several steps. There's something at the bottom. And it's a massive, very dangerous creature. You quickly analyze what you feel. It's a huge threat to the shelter. But also a pile of top resources. Its skin and flesh. Even its bones might be incredibly valuable. Triggering the 10,000-fold return would be a huge win. So, we have to take it out. With that in mind, you quickly turn and walk to Lang Yu. There's something big in the pool. It's at least as strong as the bear I fought. Hearing this, Lang Yu's eyes narrowed. "We need to deal with it. Otherwise, this place will never be safe." You nod after hearing that. A flash of excitement appears in your eyes. Bows and arrows lose a lot of power underwater. So, we need something special. Give me half a day. With that, you grab the entrenching tool and head to the mine. Lang Yu just watches your back silently. He knows you can make miracles. So he quietly returns to camp. And continues his work. You starts to build a solid temporary base. And sets up warning traps around it. Making sure you're safe while you sleep. Not long after, you reach the mountainside. Swinging your entrenching tool, the ore quickly splits apart, revealing a metallic surface. The appraisal result pops up. Low impurity hematite. It's perfect for smelting iron. Seeing this, you're instantly delighted. It's actually high-quality iron ore. But you still need a little more material for the spear. You start searching nearby the mountain wall. Soon, you find a patch of black rock. It's exactly top-grade obsidian. You pick a head-sized chunk of obsidian. Then grab a tough river stone for a hammer. In an instant, images of crafting stone tools flash through your mind. You hold the obsidian in your left hand. Stone hammer in your right. Every strike is exact. Your motions are full of rhythm and power. With dull thuds each time you hit. A deadly, piercing spear tip slowly takes shape. Meanwhile, Lang Yu sets traps around the camp, like vine snares and wooden spike traps. Right now, he's crouching in a tree with a great view, using branches and leaves to build a hidden lookout tower. Deep in the pool, a huge shadow lurks. A pair of cold eyes slowly opens. Time flies by as you both work. By sundown, the valley is painted gold. You stop what you're doing. In front of you are 3 brand new heavy spears. The shafts are made from straight, tough white ash, with wooden shafts for the main body, and razor-sharp obsidian tips. Also, strong cords are tied tightly behind each spearhead, so you can pull them back after throwing. Right now, you shout without looking. Lang Yu, bring the bear meat over. Lang Yu, who's setting traps, comes over. The temperature in the wild changes fast. Some meat is starting to go bad. Just right for bait. When Lang Yu sees the new spears, he can't help but gasp. Just one look. He can feel how deadly these spears are. Suddenly, your voice snaps Lang Yu back. Throw some bear meat in the pool. Put the rest near the shore. We'll lay in wait. As you finish speaking, Lang Yu snaps out of it and tosses the meat just like you said. The bloody meat sinks underwater. Ripples start spreading. You both stay totally silent, each holding a spear a few meters from the pool, quietly waiting. Time ticks by. Only the waterfall's roar remains in the valley. Lang Yu's hand starts to sweat as he grips the spear. Right then, choppy ripples appear in the pool. Right after, a string of bubbles comes up. The bear meat is suddenly yanked under and disappears from the surface. A moment later, a massive shape suddenly surges from the pool. An enormous crocodile bursts out, bigger than you could imagine. You and Lang Yu both widen your eyes in shock. The giant crocodile opens its massive jaws. Rows of sharp teeth are bared. His eyes lock onto you and Lang Yu. Seeing this, you let out a low shout. Attack! Your arm muscles bulge instantly. In a split second, your hair shoots out like black lightning at the croc's neck. But it only leaves a white scratch on the croc's armor. Just as you're surprised, Lang Yu throws her hair too. Her target is the softer spot where its belly meets the front leg. The spear pierces in a few inches, but gets stuck in tough muscle. The pain drives the croc wild. He whips around violently, yanking the rope in Lang Yu's hands. A huge force surges through. Lang Yu is pulled off balance, almost falling into the water. Right then, the croc lunges at Lang Yu with its jaws wide open. Luckily, Lang Yu is agile and quickly pulls away. Missing its target, the croc angrily shakes its head. You take the chance while it's distracted to draw your pistol and fire. The bullet hits the croc's left eye dead on. Blood and murky fluid burst out. The croc lets out a roar, rolling on the riverbank in pain. Seeing this, you gather all your strength and raise your hair and stab down hard. The hair pierces through the croc's eye socket and into its brain. But you don't let go right away. You twist the hair rod sharply. In the next second, the croc lets out a horrible wail, its body suddenly stiffening up, going berserk. It starts thrashing wildly, slamming the huge turtle against the bank. Dirt and stones fly into the air. Deep craters are smashed into the hard riverbank. Even Lang Yu is so scared by the force, she stumbles back. You're now half kneeling 10 meters away. That last move almost drained all your strength. Yet the croc keeps smashing the ground. You quickly grip your pistol, staying alert. After more than 2 minutes, the croc's thrashing finally slows down. Those vertical pupils grow dim too. This predator that ruled the deep pool finally falls silent for good. Suddenly, a system voice rings out. Global announcement. Dragon Country contestant Xiaogua just hunted a croc. Triggered the 1000-fold bonus. 10,000 crocs have been randomly released in Dragon Country. Soon after, the Dragon Country military quickly moves out. Everyone has seen how deadly crocs are. If not dealt with, they'll cause big trouble. In the valley, you and Lang Yu exchange grins, relief and surprise filling your tired eyes. You finally breathe a deep sigh. Lang Yu forces herself up from the ground. How are we going to get it back? You look at the croc's body, frowning. This thing's got to weigh a ton. Let's just do it here. After you finish, you walk around the croc's body. Your entrenching tool thuds against its armored scales. You shake your head and hand the tool to Lang Yu. I'll go get the gear from the camp. This skin is valuable. We can't waste it. Lang Yu nods in agreement. You're soon back from camp, and with Lang Yu, start dissecting the beast. The croc's hide is super tough. You use a machete and knife, but can only cut and peel it off bit by bit. Lang Yu helps hold and pull the loose skin aside. In the sunlight, the two of you crouch, busy by the giant croc. And soon its skin is stripped away. You get started on the croc's tail. While working, you explain. The tastiest part of a croc is this lunar meat in the tail. The texture is super tender. with no fishy taste. It's as good as prime steak. Lang Yu listens, already imagining how delicious it'll be. Tail done. It's time for the 4 big leg muscles. It takes you almost 2.5 hours to finish butchering the croc. As for the bones and organs, you don't let them go to waste. You bury them nearby to use as fertilizer. Planning to plant the few crops found in the supply drop. Then you two haul the heavy croc meat and hide back to your temporary camp. You set down the croc meat and start a fire. Soon, the campfire is blazing, driving off the cold and bringing a sense of safety. You sharpen a stick, skewer a big chunk of croc leg, and hold the meat over the fire to roast. Fat sizzles in the heat, dripping into the flames and sparking little bursts of fire. The mouth-watering smell fills the air. While waiting, you set a pot by the fire, drop in some croc meat, then add spring water. Lang Yu sits nearby, watching you work. A small smile appears on her face. In no time, the meat is roasting golden brown over the flames. The grilled meat turns perfectly golden and tempting. You tear off a big piece and hand it to Lang Yu, taking one for yourself too. Eat up and get your strength back. Let's clean up our supplies after we finish, and rest well tonight. Lots to do tomorrow. Lang Yu quickly takes the meat, digging in right away. The croc meat is firm and springy, yet so tender, with a unique sweet flavor. Lang Yu's eyes light up at once. She can't help but praise, this croc meat is amazing. Soon, the rich croc soup is ready too. You and Lang Yu share it at once. The rich soup goes down, spreading warm comfort from your stomach. Instantly, all your tiredness and the cold melt away. Meanwhile, deep in the woods dozens of miles away, a muscular man is trudging along. He is ex-Marine Wang Mang, here to join the team. Several days of rushing have worn him out. Even water and food are almost gone. Just then, he spots a faint light ahead through the trees. Wang Mang perks up. Is that Xiao Gui and the others? With that thought, he crouches lower and quietly approaches the light. But as he gets close, his heart sinks. A dozen people are sitting around the fire, including Kane and the team from Wa Country, like Musashi Miyamoto. And in the middle, a young man is tied up to a tree. He's covered in wounds, barely hanging on. Wang Mang shakes his head at the scene. He quickly decides to quietly slip away. But Kane suddenly calls out, "Who's there?" As soon as he speaks, everyone looks toward Wang Mang's hiding spot. Wang Mang's heart nearly stops. At the last second, he presses his tongue to the roof of his mouth and lets out a perfect night bird call. The group relaxes, thinking nothing's wrong. But Kane still looks worried. Musashi Miyamoto speaks up. "If you're too paranoid, that's a sign of fear. Kane, you should chill a bit. We've got plenty of people here." Miyamoto's disregard made Kane drop his suspicions. Wang Mang finally managed to escape. In the darkness, Wang Mang kept figuring out his direction. He headed straight for the place mentioned in the intel. His eyes were full of determination. "Xiao Gui and Lang Yu, you guys better wait for me." Meanwhile, the campfire crackled inside the waterfall valley. You and Lang Yu are checking supplies. A huge curved crocodile skin is laid out on the ground. The dark green scales are hard as iron. Lang Yu gently touches the crocodile skin. Her eyes burn with excitement. "If we make armor out of this, it can stop most blades. And it can even handle small bows and crossbows." You nod at her words. "But there's something more important to handle first." Then you carefully take out a little cloth bag. You open it. 3 packs of seeds appear. Lang Yu sees this. She gasps. "You even have these?" You smile back. "Let's upgrade our shelter a bit tonight. We'll plant the seeds tomorrow." With that, you and Lang Yu get busy. You lay a thermal blanket on the roof. Then shovel up some dirt with the engineer's shovel. After about 10 minutes, a smooth shallow pit takes shape. You spread dry grass and leaves at the bottom. Finally, you and Lang Yu put the gigantic bear hide on top. Now, a brand new shelter is complete. From outside, it just looks like some basic grass. But inside, it's a whole different world. You both crawl inside. The cold outside is shut out instantly. The warmth and softness of the bear hide makes Lang Yu say excitedly, "This feels so good." You nod in satisfaction. Then toss some wood onto the fire. "I'll take the first shift, you go sleep." Lang Yu doesn't argue. She leans against the warm wall and falls right asleep. But soon, new trouble arrives. A few black mosquitoes swirl around like ghosts. You frown. Raise your hand to shoo them away. For half an hour straight, you manage to get rid of some of them inside the shelter. Tomorrow, we need to find something to keep bugs out. Water sounds continue outside the shelter. But you're thinking about that giant iron mine. Countless forging blueprints and plans are forming in your mind. Just 2 people isn't enough. Hope we get a few more sticks soon. Lang Yu wakes up right on time for the second shift. You lean against the wall and quickly fall asleep. Morning sunlight shines into the shelter. You slowly open your eyes. Langyu has restarted the fire already. She's boiling water in the iron pot. Some smoked crocodile meat is being heated on the side. Langyu sees you awake and hands you a bamboo tube full of water. You're awake. You take it and drink. Then tear off a piece of crocodile meat and eat it. Let's explore the area today. Check the lay of the land. See what resources we can use. Also, find every possible way in and out. Set up some warning traps. Langyu hears you and nods firmly. Traps and security are his specialty. After breakfast, you guys put out the fire. Then grab weapons and tools and start exploring the area. You walk upstream along the creek. Walking along, suddenly you stop. Raise your head and sniff the air. There's a faint sweet smell ahead. Langyu sniffs too. I don't smell anything. You don't explain. Just smile a little. Then head with Langyu toward the mountain wall. You push aside thick ferns and go around a giant rock. The next second, Langyu is stunned by the scene. Thick vines cover the cliff and brown fruits hang from them. Langyu cries out in delight. Wild kiwis. You pick one and squeeze it in your hand. It's not ripe yet, but we can take some back and let them ripen. Just then, a cold mechanical voice rings out. The point is, I saw a gun on one of their hips. Hearing this, Lang Yu's pupils suddenly contracted. Did you see what kind of gun? Your brow furrowed deeply too. Linihan tried hard to recall. It was a black one. The pistol felt a bit longer overall. Looked like it had wood on the front. Also, they had Asian faces. They weren't from the US or Japan. And didn't speak Korean either. Yu and Lang Yu exchanged a look, feeling incredibly grave. This intel is vital. You thought the US and Japan were the threats. But it seems the real hunters are still hiding. The valley's mood turned heavy. A moment later, Yu broke the silence. Alright, let's rest. I'll take the first watch, Lang Yu. You're weak, sleep the second half. But starting tomorrow, you're on duty from 4 to 6 a.m. Linihan heard this, straightened up, and said firmly, I won't be a burden. With those words, Yu ignored them both and studied the crocodile skin. Lang Yu gave Lin an emergency blanket. Xiaoguai is watching the first half. Don't worry. Linihan nodded heavily. She took the blanket to the shelter. The moment she stepped inside, she froze in place. The freezing wind outside was instantly replaced by a wave of dry, warm air, smelling of faint smoke and licorice. Lin looked at everything, her face full of shock. Then her nose tingled, and tears welled up again. But this time, it was from feeling safe. She curled up on a corner of bare skin, wrapping the blanket tight. Feeling the warmth from the air and ground, she fell into her deepest sleep yet. As the night deepened, Yu leaned against a tree, eyes closed, thinking about Lin's intel. Soon, Ling Yu took over the watch. You got a few hours of deep sleep. The morning mist hadn't faded yet. You put out the charcoal fire and took down all the venison. The meat was now fully dehydrated, turning into dark red jerky. You took a piece and bit down hard, but it only left a faint mark. Rubbing your jaw, you grimaced. Why is it so tough? You used a knife to slice a bit, then tasted it carefully. The meat was firm and very chewy. It's the perfect trail ration. It'll be better soaked in soup. With all this jerky, we have enough for over 2 weeks. Linihan was already awake. She stared at the jerky, salivating uncontrollably. What's the plan today? Is there anything I can help with? You immediately assigned tasks. Lang Yu, show her around the valley. Make sure she knows the trap zones. Then cut some wrist-thick trees. We need to upgrade the shelter. And grab more firewood while you're at it. Lang Yu nodded. Linihan stood tall, responding loudly, I'll work hard. Shortly after, the two disappeared into the woods. You calmly closed the stream to sign in. You have survived consecutively. Sign-in requirements met. The reward is physical enhancement. Basic stats will be greatly boosted. Next, heat exploded from your heart, coursing through your entire body. You could clearly feel every bone popping and cracking. Muscle fibers toughened at high speed, becoming thick. You clenched your fist. A surge of power filled your body. Is this what strength feels like? You walked to the planned work area. A 200-pound rock had blocked the way, forcing you to delay the plan. Now you took a deep breath and leaned down, grabbing the edges of the stone. You put your back into it. But there was no expected heaviness. The rock was lifted easily. Your breathing stayed steady, and your heart rate didn't even rise. After moving the giant stone, you stared blankly at your hands. This physical leap gave you total confidence in the plan. You looked at the simple furnace. The Industrial Revolution starts now. You moved into action immediately, starting to build a bellows for air. The design flashed in your mind. You took the dagger and cut the deer hide precisely. Then you used a bone needle to poke fine holes along the edges. Next, you found some straight wood. After making a frame, you bound the hide tightly with vines. A hollow branch served as the nozzle, and the joint was sealed with clay to make it airtight. About an hour later, a crude but durable bellows was done. You aimed the nozzle at the furnace's air intake. Then you layered charcoal and crushed iron ore inside. You began pumping the bellows rhythmically. Strong air currents blasted the furnace. The charcoal inside glowed dull red, then turned a blinding bright white. The furnace let out a low roar. The temperature spiked rapidly. While maintaining the rhythm, you watched the ore's changes. You saw the dark red ore soften and deform. A layer of molten iron appeared. Overjoyed, you took a wooden pole and poked open the tap hole at the base. Instantly, molten iron flowed down the channel. The first man-made metal in the wild was born. You poured it into the arranged arrowhead molds. The iron hit the molds, making a sharp hissing sound. White steam billowed up. Soon, the last mold was filled. Using sticks, you picked them up and dropped them into the pond. A massive cloud of steam erupted. Once they were cooled, you fished them out. With a tap against a stone, the clay shells shattered, revealing barbed, diamond-shaped arrowheads. At this moment, you saw a vision of an armed Chinese team. Just then, the stream went back online. The countdown hit 0, and the live broadcast resumed. The chat was instantly flooded, filled with praise and shock. Suddenly, a clear shout rang out. "Gua, we found something huge. A newborn calf in the bushes. And large cat tracks are nearby." Your eyes lit up instantly when you heard that. "We'll have roast beef for a late-night snack." As soon as you finished speaking, roast beef, golden and crispy, already appeared in your mind. But then Ling Yu sighed and said, "I knew it. Of course you want to eat the calf. But this calf is a valuable resource. If we keep it alive, we'll have fresh milk all the time. If we tame it, it'll be a strong worker for us." You froze when you heard that. You're right. While you were still dazed, Ling Yu spotted dozens of metal lumps on the ground. He squatted down and picked one up to examine it. "These are iron arrowheads. You really did smelt iron." Linihan came over when she heard that too. "Gua, were you a blacksmith before?" You laughed heartily at that. "Just picked up the basics, that's all." Before you could finish, Ling Yu noticed the blue stone had been moved. A crazy idea suddenly flashed in his mind. "Did Xiaogua move that?" But your voice cut off his thoughts. "Let's go save the calf." Soon you all arrived at the bushes. There was a really faint mooing coming from inside. Ling Yu stepped up and parted the branches. He saw a calf struggling to its feet. Big, clear, but confused eyes looked at you. Its skinny legs were trembling hard, collapsing over and over again. You knelt down to check carefully. You found no obvious wounds on the calf. So you gently rubbed its forehead with the back of your hand. Surprisingly, the calf pressed its head into your palm. So you just hugged the whole calf up. "Come on, let's go home." Before long you were back at camp. You made a simple harness from soft vines. Then tied the calf securely to a tree. Next, you laid down a thick bed of dry grass. The calf quickly curled up and lay down. Just then, Linihan's stomach started growling. She looked a bit uncomfortable too. You instantly figured it out. "Looks like we need to build a toilet. There are more and more people now. We can't just go anywhere." So with that, you gave an order. "Let's chop more wood. After we reinforce the shelter, we'll build a toilet next." Linihan looked relieved when she heard that. Ling Yu just nodded quietly. Soon Ling Yu and Linihan went back inside. You picked up the entrenching shovel and headed 50 meters downwind from camp. You picked a spot and marked the area with your foot. Then you started digging with the shovel. With your new, stronger body, work felt as easy as drinking water. Didn't take much time. A 2-meter deep pit appeared. Just the basic shape for now. You kept thinking about ways to improve the toilet. Meanwhile, deep in the canyon forest below the waterfall, Wang Meng sat on the ground, face covered in scratches. Half an hour ago, he had just picked a bag full of wild fruit and was looking for a place to rest. But suddenly some monkeys showed up and snatched all his fruit. Seeing this, Wang Meng chased after the monkeys right away. After a scuffle, he only managed to get back half a bag of fruit. His face was scratched up by the monkeys. Now Wang Meng looked up at the sky, got up and walked toward the sound of the waterfall. A while later, Wang Meng suddenly paused. There were human footprints on the ground ahead. Wang Meng saw this and quickly calmed himself. He followed the tracks and snuck over. In his view, there was a Japanese man facing away, using the bathroom under a tree. Seeing this, Wang Meng's eyes narrowed. He gripped his machete at his waist. "Your good luck ends here." Next second, Wang Meng rushed up and covered his mouth and nose. Then he swung his machete down hard. The Japanese man didn't react in time and was killed. Only now did Wang Meng get a good look at his face. He was with that multinational team from before. Without hesitation, Wang Meng turned and bolted deeper into the woods. Almost at the same time, Musashi Miyamoto came looking for the teammate who hadn't returned for a while. But what he saw shocked him. Enemy attack. "Follow me, let's chase them." With those words, Musashi grabbed his longbow and followed the tracks. The other competitors quickly grabbed their bows and arrows and followed. Suddenly, a dozen arrows shot into the forest. Wang Meng darted through the complicated terrain. But an arrow still grazed his left side. Wang Meng grunted and sped up. Kane spoke up to stop everyone. He stared coldly in the direction Wang Meng disappeared. "A wounded rabbit only tries to rush back to its den. Just follow him. We'll find the whole group of rabbits." Musashi heard this and lowered his longbow. "I'll personally twist his head off." Far away, Wang Meng clutched his wound and ran wildly through the woods. He ran toward the sound of a waterfall. Meanwhile, inside the valley, things looked different. Ling Yu slammed a wooden stake deep into the ground, then packed it tight with stones and clay. Linihan worked beside him, using vines to tie the stakes together securely. Once the last stake was fixed, a toilet wall started to take shape. You looked at this masterpiece, nodded in satisfaction. We're short on materials. Let's skip the roof for now. Tomorrow I'll help cut more wood with you guys. Night soon fell. The campfire was rekindled. Ling Yu placed roasted venison on the stone slab. A nearby clay pot was steaming with wild veggie soup. Linihan returned hugging a big bundle of grass. He brought it to the calf's mouth. The calf eagerly moved closer. After a moment, the three of you sat around the fire. Ling Yu quietly handed out food. You played with a piece of rosewood in your hand. With Ling Yu and Linihan watching curiously, you pulled out your knife and started carving the wood. After about 10 minutes, a rustic pipe was finished. You smiled with joy, quickly got up, went into the shelter for a bit. You came out holding carefully prepared tobacco. Then stuffed tobacco into the pipe bowl and pressed it down. Pulled a burning stick from the fire. Brought it close to the pipe. The tobacco instantly caught fire. A wisp of blue smoke rose up. You brought the pipe to your lips. Took a deep inhale. That's really satisfying. Linihan looked at your grandpa-like posture. Couldn't help but laugh. Ling Yu shook his head helplessly. The camp was soon filled with joy. But, suddenly, dull thuds of rocks echoed from outside. It was the warning trap set at the entrance. Hearing this, you instantly frowned. Then stood up with your hunting bow. Ling Yu pulled out his machete, guarding Linihan. You gave Ling Yu a look. Ling Yu instantly understood. You headed to the trap, one in front and one behind. You saw a shadow leaning against the tree nearby, panting heavily. It was Wang Mang. When he saw the Dragon Nation flag on your arm, joy exploded on his honest face. Help! I'm from the Dragon Nation. As soon as Wang Mang finished speaking, you quickly went over to confirm his identity. Then you and Ling Yu helped Wang Mang back. Ihan, grab the first aid kit. Linihan heard you and ran straight to the shelter. After a moment, Ling Yu placed Wang Mang by the fire. Then opened up the first aid kit. Ling Yu pulled out a knife. Cut open the torn cloth over Wang Mang's wound. A 4-centimeter wound was exposed to the air. Ling Yu's face stayed cold. He poured disinfectant onto the wound. Suddenly Wang Mang's body shuddered. But you held him firmly in place. Once the wound was cleaned, Ling Yu wrapped it with clean bandages. The process was quick and professional. Once finished, you all breathed a sigh of relief. Linihan handed roasted venison and hot soup to Wang Mang. Wang Mang saw and grabbed the meat immediately. He stuffed venison into his mouth. After a while, Wang Mang felt better. He leaned against the stake and spoke. When mentioning the allied team, he was full of anger. I hid all traces of blood. But they'll still come after me. We have to get ready. You nodded grimly at his words. That many people attacking isn't a joke. But we'll deal with anything that comes. Thinking this, you quietly picked up your pipe, refilled it with tobacco, lit it with the fire stick. You took another easy puff, then slowly blew out a white smoke ring. Wang Mang noticed this. Instantly stared bright-eyed. Is that a pipe you're smoking? You nodded. Wang Mang suddenly sat up straight, ignoring the pain from his wound. Bro, let me have a puff. I earned this after fighting off those guys. You couldn't help but smile at his eagerness. Quickly put new tobacco in and pressed it down. Handed over the burning stick. Wang Mang grabbed the pipe like it was treasure. Couldn't wait to take a big inhale. Spicy smoke hit his head instantly. He choked with tears and snot all over his face. The three of you laughed at his mess. For a moment, Wang Mang didn't feel pain anymore. He leaned against the stake, looking serious. Little Gua, bro. We need to talk business. If we get surrounded and can't get steady food or water, the allied team will wear us out sooner or later. We have to make a move ourselves. You spoke calmly. You think just like me. First, we need to deal with those chasing you. Then we'll have a short safe time to regroup. For now, you focus on healing. Ling Yu and I will keep watch tonight. The words barely faded. Wang Mang nodded firmly. The night passed safely with you and Ling Yu taking turns on guard. Early the next morning, about 10 kilometers from the valley, a figure stumbled toward the west. Drank water greedily. He was Zhao Ziqian, a regular office worker from Dragon Nation. Hunger made him dizzy. He could barely stand. While Zhao Ziqian drank, a sound came from the grass nearby. Then a tall figure appeared. The Dragon Nation badge on his arm was clear. Zhao Ziqian almost cried out, a compatriot. After confirming Zhao Ziqian was from Dragon Nation, the figure burst out laughing. Bro, you're from Dragon Nation too? I'm Zhang Pengfei. Are you alone? Zhang Pengfei warmly asked about him. He even shared some dried meat with Zhao Ziqian. Zhao Ziqian took the dried meat. Thankful, I came here alone. He stuffed the meat right into his mouth. But in the thick forest 10 meters from the stream, Cain was aiming his wooden bow at Zhang Pengfei. They threatened Zhang Pengfei with death to make him betray. Now Zhang Pengfei felt a bit excited. Finally, someone else will share the misery. Bro, you're from Dragon Nation too? I'm Zhang Pengfei. Are you alone? Zhang Pengfei warmly asked about him. He even shared his jerky with Zhao Ziqian. Zhao Ziqian took the jerky. Tears of gratitude filled his eyes. I came here alone. He stuffed the jerky into his mouth right after talking. Meanwhile, 10 meters away in the dense woods, Cain stood with a wooden bow aimed at Zhang Pengfei's back. They had already threatened Zhang Pengfei with death to make him switch sides. Right now, Zhang Pengfei felt a bit of thrill. Finally, someone else can share my pain. On the other side, near the waterfall valley, Wang Meng was woken up by the calves mooing. He sat up, rubbing his eyes. He sighed, man, this bear skin pad feels awesome. Right next to him, Lin Han was giving the calf some water. Wang Meng's eyes lit up when he saw it. He quickly walked over. Rubbing his hands, he said, this calf looks solid. Is it tonight's extra meal? Lin Han instantly shielded the calf. The calf can't be eaten. He'll help us plow and carry stuff later. Wang Meng laughed awkwardly and said, oh, I see. After a simple breakfast, you laid out 4 bows in front of you. Then opened up a heavy leather pouch. Dozens of iron arrowheads rolled out the next second. Wang Meng glanced over. He froze instantly. He crouched down, picked up an arrowhead to check the weight. You actually managed to make these in the wild. Give me 1 day. I'll get all these arrowheads ready. Upon hearing this, you looked at Ling Yu and Lin Han. You two help out. Sort through the bird feathers we saved before. Make them into fletchings. And watch over Dun Dun and the campfire, too. After you finished talking, the two nodded firmly. Then you turned towards the huge crocodile skin. I'll make some life-saving clothes. Moments later, the whole camp turned into a busy little workshop. Wang Meng and Ling Yu sat by a big rock. All the iron arrowheads were piled on the rock. Wang Meng handled the rough grinding with coarse sand. Ling Yu did the fine work, sharpening the arrowheads for better piercing. Lin Han kept moving between everyone. He handed the finished shafts to Ling Yu, then jogged back to give the calf more grass, and checked the campfire before heading back. Meanwhile, Zhang Pengfei was leading Zhao Ziqian deeper into the woods. Our camp is right ahead. Lots of people, food, and drinks. Totally safe. Zhao Ziqian's eyes got a little teary. After surviving alone in the wild so long, he finally found his crew. But after walking through the woods, the sight ahead stunned Zhao Ziqian. Right in the camp, 7 or 8 people of different skin colors stood there. They all looked alert, holding different weapons. It was the foreigner joint squad. Zhao Ziqian totally blanked out. Zhang Pengfei ran over to Cain, acting all smug. Mr. Cain, I brought him here. Hearing this, Zhao Ziqian lost all hope. He was so weak from hunger, he couldn't even run. All he could do was scream in despair. Zhang Pengfei, you backstabbing son of a bitch. Cain watched with a cold smile. A cruel grin spread across his face. Then Musashi Miyamoto stepped forward and punched Zhao Ziqian in the gut. The next second, Zhao Ziqian collapsed. Then came a round of beatings. Zhang Pengfei hit in the back, smirking the whole time. In the Dragon Kingdom's official live stream, the mood hit rock bottom. The comment section exploded in anger. Over 1 billion Dragon Kingdom viewers were all heartbroken. All they could do was watch as a fellow countryman was beaten up, with no way to help. Meanwhile, in the Lighthouse Nation Command Center, it was a whole different vibe. The Lighthouse Nation's general's eyes flashed with greed. Wait for Cain to catch Little Bone alive. From then on, Dragon Kingdom's fate is ours. But you guys have no clue about any of this. Back in the valley, Wang Meng finished sharpening the last arrowhead and tossed it into the leather pouch. He looked at the heavy animal pelt. Wang Meng burst out laughing. You stood up and shouted at the group. Stop what you're doing. Everyone, end the live stream. Time to test the weapons. The 3 heard you. They quickly put their things down. After gathering up, you all came to a clearing. Wang Meng leaned a thick log on a rock for a target. Then Ling Yu put a steel-tipped arrow on the bowstring. He pulled it all the way back. Bent over, he let the arrow fly. There was a deep, muffled thud. The arrow instantly pierced the tough log. Wang Meng's eyes widened at the sight. This power is way higher than the wood-tipped arrows. If that hit a person, you'd have to aim right at them. Even Ling Yu's eyes flashed with satisfaction. The steel arrow's power was beyond his expectations. Just then, you pulled out 4 scale armors, made from the toughest back scales of the curved gator. The dark green scales shone with a cold light in the sun. You handed the armors to the others. Wearing these boosts your survival a lot. The 3 nodded with smiles. Wang Meng couldn't wait to put his on. He thumped his chest hard. The armor gave a deep thud. This thickness and toughness. It's basically a mini bulletproof vest. Soon, everyone finished changing. Looking at your refreshed teammates, you packed the last steelhead arrow. Now it's our turn to hunt. Let's do some guerrilla tactics. Enemy comes, we fall back. If they stay, we harass. Wait till they panic. Then strike with a deadly blow. Wang Mang and Lang Yu agreed seriously. They fully backed your plan. With the tactics set, the four moved right away. Linihan took the calf back to the shelter, blocked the entrance with rocks, left a gap for air. Lang Yu put out every campfire, and took weapons and food. Once all was set, the four slipped into the forest like ghosts. You walked up front, eyes scanning around like radar. Your pro-survival senses fully on. Right then, Wang Mang crouched down, picked up a crushed leaf. From the trail, they left less than 3 hours ago. Hearing that, you keep tracking. After going over 10 meters, the tracks vanished at some rocks. Lang Yu and Wang Mang both shook their heads. They said they're stumped, ready to split up and search again. But you stood still. In a flash, the world took on a new image in your mind. In the air, a faint breeze blew in from the southeast. You pointed southeast. About 2 kilometers that way. Wang Mang looked shocked. But seeing Lang Yu calm, he didn't question it. Let's find a place to wait for dark. After you said that, you nodded. Led the group southeast. You found a hidden hollow. Ate jerky and drank water. Nightfall approached. You all quietly moved deeper into the woods. Soon a faint fire appeared ahead. Wang Mang squinted. He whispered, "There's not even a lookout. These idiots are too naive." He was just about to suggest an ambush. But you held him down. You pointed to the big trees by the camp. Wang Mang and Lang Yu looked over. Their eyes went wide. In the shadows, 2 blurry shapes lay hidden in the trees. Seeing this, Wang Mang broke a cold sweat. You turned and spoke softly to the others. "This group has pros. If we shoot their sentries, even the sound would alert the whole camp. Just taking them out would wake everyone up. We shoot the lookouts and pull back. Come back in 2 hours." Then you and Lang Yu slowly raised your bows. But suddenly there was a commotion in the camp. A tall figure threw someone out from a shelter. You squinted at the figure. Sprawled on the ground. The Dragon Nation badge was visible in the firelight. You said, "That's one of ours." As soon as you said it, everyone fell silent. If you kill their sentries, they might attack our guy out of anger. You were stuck in a tough spot. Everyone stared at you. Your mind raced. Idea after idea flashed by. Suddenly you had it. You looked at Wang Mang and grinned mischievously. "I remember when you arrived. You got attacked by monkeys." Wang Mang was stunned at first. Then his eyes lit up. "You're a real piece of work." With the plan set, you all moved out right away. Soon, Wang Mang led you all to the monkey area. He took out some kiwis from the animal hide bag. Then strolled out to a clearing by the woods. Wang Mang peeled the kiwis with a knife. Exposed the fruit inside. A fresh scent filled the air. It didn't take long before you heard movement in the bushes. A few pairs of eyes glowed in the dark, staring at the kiwis by Wang Mang. One brave monkey charged right at him. Wang Mang tensed his muscles and grabbed it instantly. Next second, the monkey was in his hand. You all moved in with vines. Tied the monkey up in seconds. Now the monkeys went wild. A dozen burst out from all sides. You got excited. Perfect. The monkey attack came all at once. But with your armor, the 4 of you were fine. You caught 6 or 7 monkeys in no time. You tied them up tight. The rest saw trouble and ran back into the woods. You signaled the group to leave. On the way, you told Linihan you need her to do something soon. "Just go for it. I trust you. If the plan fails, I've got backup." Linihan looked nervous and scared. But seeing your confidence, she steadied herself. "Got it." Around 3 a.m., you all reached a fire slope near Kane's camp. The 2 lookouts were still on guard. The others were still asleep. You quickly gave the order to start. Wang Mang and Lang Yu untied the monkeys. Linihan left quietly. Freed, the 7 monkeys started going wild. Wang Mang quickly tossed them into the camp. Instant chaos broke out. The camp was a mess of monkey and human noise. Kane heard the sound and came out with his knife, scanning the area. Next second, a monkey jumped on his face. The camp blew up in panic. No one noticed anything in the trees. 2 steel-tipped arrows cut through the night. Both lookouts were taken out almost together. An arrow pierced his throat. He fell from the tree without making a sound. At that moment, a monkey charged at Miyamoto Musashi, jaws wide open. Musashi's eyes turned cold. He drew his katana instantly. The monkey's head fell off with a single swing. The other monkeys went even crazier. In the chaos, 3 arrows silently shot out from the darkness. 3 figures dropped immediately. Kane finally realized something was wrong. He shouted, "Musashi! Get over here, we're under attack." Hearing that, Musashi quickly ran to Kane's side. The other two rushed over in a panic. All four of them looked around on high alert. Suddenly, an arrow flew by. One of their men dropped instantly. But that also gave Kane your location. He raised his bow and fired at you. The other three joined in and attacked too. 3 more arrows whooshed out. You quickly ducked down to dodge. At the same time, you ran to the other side. The fight kept going. Soon, Kane sensed something was off. You always managed to strike right. As they prepared to counterattack, forcing them to only dodge and embarrassment. Thinking of this, a cold gleam flashed in Kane's eyes. You two, hold them off. I'll go get the hostage. As soon as he finished, the three split up fast. A moment later, you frowned slightly. You sensed someone sneaking out of a shed at the camp's edge, crawling into the forest in the opposite direction, then running frantically, stumbling and rolling away. You were confused. Who's trying to escape now? Moonlight sliced through the leaves far away. A fleeing figure came into view. It was Zhang Pengfei. As chaos broke out in camp, he slipped away. No matter who catches him, he's dead anyway. So he has to run. Zhang Pengfei nervously tried to reassure himself. He ran faster and deeper into the woods. Back at camp, the fight got even fiercer. Another squad member was stabbed through with an iron sword. Miyamoto Musashi saw all this. He clenched his teeth and yanked out his katana. I'm taking you all down with me. Just then, Kane dragged Zhao Ziqian along. You Chinese rats. Get out here. Or I'll cut his throat. Everything went quiet. You squinted into the darkness. Ihan crept up behind the camp as planned. Kane began to count down. 3, 2, 1. The next moment, you walked out from the shadows. A dagger in your hand. Calmly, you said, I'm here. Well, what now? Kane saw you. And gave a cruel smile. Drop your weapon. Tell your buddies to come out too. Get on your knees with your hands on your head. Or else, you know what happens. After saying that, Kane pressed his dagger to Zhao Ziqian's neck. You yelled, fine. Lang Yu, Wang Meng, come out. Then you dropped the dagger at your feet. Lang Yu and Wang Meng got the hint right away. They pretended to be upset and angry, and slowly walked over. Now Kane grinned even wider. Now I'll tie you all up. And trade you to China for supplies. Hand over your pistol. Hearing that, your lips curled up in a smirk. I don't have the pistol. Kane was stunned. Where is it? No sooner had he spoken, Linihan appeared behind Kane. She gripped her pistol, aiming straight at Kane's back. I've got it. Suddenly, a gunshot rang out. Blood burst from Kane's chest. His eyes were full of shock and frustration. Then he collapsed backward. Musashi was still stunned the next second, when you grabbed a dagger off the ground and charged forward, going straight for the frozen Musashi. A cold flash cut through the night. Musashi fell to the ground. Blood gushed from his neck. Right now, Linihan is slumped on the ground. She's gasping for air. You walk up to her, smiling. You say, nice job. Linihan hears this. She lifts her head to see you running over with a big smile. Her fear fades instantly. At that moment, a cold mechanical voice rings out. Over 10 players from Wagyu have died. National Fate penalty mode activated. All Wagyu citizens physical strength -1. Meanwhile, everyone at Wagyu's command center looks pale. Countless people back in Wagyu collapse to the ground. After a brief moment of pain, the mechanical voice sounds again. Longwa was the main killer. National Fate mechanism triggered. All Longwa citizens physical strength +1. This bonus doesn't apply to contestants. The whole country of Longwa erupts. Countless people can feel their bodies changing. It's like a warm current surges through them. All injuries and fatigue suddenly disappear. At this moment, everyone is applauding your team. Out in the wild, you all feel joy and pride on your faces. There's a burning confidence in your eyes. This is just the first step. Let's save people and clean up the battlefield. Check the loot. We've still got a lot to do. As soon as you finish speaking, the 4 of you spring into action. Meng gathers all the weapons and supplies in the center of camp. You, with a blank face, strip off your wet clothes. Lang Yu runs over to check Zhao Ziqian's injuries. She sees he's just got some minor wounds. Nothing life-threatening. Lang Yu takes a kettle out of her bag. She helps Zhao Ziqian drink some water. A moment later, Zhao Ziqian wakes up. He sees Lang Yu treating his wounds. He bursts into tears. Thank you all for tricking me into coming here. Did you catch the traitor Zhang Pengfei? With that, he passes out again. Lang Yu pauses a moment. He quickly comes over to you. He says, he's not in danger. Just very weak. Also, he said Longwa contestant Zhang Pengfei has defected. Pausing at your work. You stop moving. So the one who ran away was him. We'll need to deal with that traitor ASAP. But right now, we've got wounded with us. It's too risky to go after him now. Let's rest first and plan later. Ling Yu nods in agreement. You gather the 3 others. I'll stand guard for the next 3 hours. You all need to rest. No one objects. Everyone finds a spot to sleep. You keep thinking about the future. More enemies will come. We need better weapons and defenses. Stuff like chain locks and repeating crossbows. One plan after another forms in your mind. Time flies by. Warm sunlight spills through the leaves. People in the camp wake up one by one. Ling Yu soaks some jerky and hands it to Zhao Ziqian. Zhao Ziqian grabs it and wolfs it down. Soon, all 5 sit together and eat. Zhao Ziqian tells everyone everything that happened. Everyone is furious after hearing it all. You look around at the group. You say, quickly count the supplies. Take everything useful and bring it home. Everyone jumps into action. There's so much loot. It fills over 10 backpacks. Wang Meng uses vines and sticks to make a simple cart. Now all the gear can be moved at once. You slowly head toward the valley shelter. Suddenly, your live stream watch vibrates. A message from command pops up. Calling all Longwa players. To deal with traitor Zhang Pengfei. Based on long-term observation and data analysis. Here's a rule about resource returns. For fixed resource points, players need to keep using them for a week. To have a high chance of triggering the 10,000x return. Lastly, info is released about the gun-wielding Asian. This player is confirmed from Cambodia. His weapon is a short-barreled shotgun. Seeing this news, you feel mixed emotions. That creek by the valley. Tomorrow's the day. It'll be 7 days of continued use. But the Cambodian contestant's firepower is way above mine. At least now I know the key info. You say, we'll handle whatever comes our way. Adapt and overcome. He'll run out of ammo eventually. But we can use resources. To get more and more weapons. When you say this, the whole team cheers up. Just then, a delicious smell wafts over. Ning's eyes light up. He points at Holin and says, there's something good. Come with me, everyone. Everyone looks confused, but follows your lead anyway. Half an hour later, you arrive at the monkey forest. Dozens of monkeys see you coming, and instantly go wild. They rush in from all sides, throwing rocks and rotten fruit. You quickly give orders. Either drive them off or take them out. Wang Meng, you'll go head on, and draw the main force. Lang Yu and Ihan, clear out the strays on the sides. Right after you finish talking, Wang Meng charges out like a bull. He uses a pot lid as a shield to break the monkey's formation. You dart out from the side like a ghost, swinging your blade and knocking monkeys away. In less than a minute, the monkey troop is routed. Their king lets out a sly, frustrated laugh, then leads them in retreat. Wang Meng turns to you and asks, what's this good stuff you mentioned? But you just close your eyes and stay quiet. You activate your master-level environmental sense. Soon after, you walk to a huge fallen dead tree. Right in the middle, there's a natural tree hole. The entrance is blocked by rotten leaves and moss. You carefully clear away the debris with your knife. Next second, a strong aroma of liquor bursts out. You can't help but laugh. That's monkey wine. Get the pot. When Wang Meng smells it, he almost jumps up with excitement. He rushes over with the pot and canteen. You and Ling Yu enlarge the tree hole together. At the bottom of the hole, there's a layer of amber-colored sticky liquid. There are all kinds of wild fruits soaked in it too. Seeing this, Wang Meng grabs the pot and starts scooping wine fast. The others quickly help out too. Once you fill 3 cooking pots and 2 canteens, you stop. Wang Meng laughs and covers the hole with leaves. Let's leave some for them for later. Maybe we'll come back someday. Just then, Zhao Ziqian glances at a patch of empty ground. Those plants look familiar. So Zhao Ziqian walks over slowly. He digs at the dirt with his hand. Suddenly, he freezes in shock. They're sweet potatoes. Everyone else rushes over. A whole patch of wild sweet potatoes stands there. An announcement comes on. Longwa contestant Zhao Ziqian has discovered the sweet potato crop, triggering a 10,000x return. Within Dragon Country, thousands of high-quality sweet potato fields randomly appeared. This announcement hit the Dragon Country livestream like a bomb. The chat exploded with excitement. Everyone in the woods burst out laughing. Then they started digging. Soon they dug up piles of sweet potatoes and leaves. They all headed back loaded with goods. Everyone felt happier than ever. But when they returned to the valley, everyone stopped in their tracks instantly. In the middle of camp, a huge, blurry shadow was strolling around. Near the valley entrance. The mood froze instantly. You quickly activate your master-level situational awareness. In your mind, the outline of that massive creature becomes clearer. Looks like a cow. Something clicks in your mind. You quickly lead everyone into camp. At that moment, the giant cow turns to look at you. By its feet, a calf is rubbing affectionately against it. Linihan covered her mouth, saying it's the calf's mom. As soon as she finished, the big cow let out a deep, gentle moo. The calf happily ran over to Linihan. The tense atmosphere disappeared right away. Everyone moved in for a closer look. The mother. You stare at the cow's side and back legs. You spot several deep claw marks. Langyu noticed it. She hurried over and said, "Let's treat her wounds." Next. The whole camp bustled around the cow. Langyu heated her knife over the fire. Then she cut away the dead flesh around the wound. The cow shuddered in pain, but only let out a pained cry. She never struggled. Night fell. The campfire crackled. A camp pot hung over the flames. Chunks of sweet potato boiled in the pot. By the fire, several sweet potatoes were roasting. Everyone sat around the campfire. The mother cow lay nearby calmly. The calf nestled by her side, nibbling sweet potato leaves. Right now, the shelter felt just like home. Wang Meng grinned and handed Zhao Ziqian a roasted sweet potato. "Big hero, eat up. Tomorrow, Brother Gua and I will hunt some wild game. With some monkey wine. That'll be amazing." Just then, Langyu was cleaning up the dishes. She spoke softly. "Our shelter's getting crowded. We should think about more space." You nodded at her words. "Starting tomorrow, let's build more shelters. And set up a cow sheet for the cows." Everyone nodded in agreement. Soon, night fell deeper. The campfire slowly faded out. A few people crawled into the shelters to rest. Wang had to take first watch because his snoring was too loud. He was sent to take the first shift. He curled up with a thermal blanket by the camp, carving a piece of wood with his knife. Meanwhile, lights were blazing in Dragon Country's highest command center. An officer walked quickly into the war room. Now, many countries want to trade supplies for sweet potatoes. Word came from enemy nations. They want to trade oil for them. The old general's eyes lit up at this. "Well, we gotta negotiate this carefully. Let's see what price they'll offer." Morning sunlight shone through the leaves onto camp. Everyone woke up and got busy. Linihan changed the cow's medicine. Langyu started making breakfast. Zhao Ziqian, using a stick, collected cattle feed. You looked at the sky. Then said, "Wang Meng and I are going hunting. The rest of you plan the spots for new shelters." Everyone nodded, simple as that. After breakfast, you and Wang Meng headed into the woods. About an hour later, you picked up some animal scent trails. So you took Wang Meng and followed the scent. Soon, you found fresh tracks on the ground. A few plants around had been crushed halfway down. The break marks were fresh. You told everyone there's a big one up ahead. Judging by the tracks, it weighs over 300 pounds. Looks like it's eating something. Wang's eyes lit up at that. Eyes sparkling with excitement. You led Wang downwind. Then moved closer little by little. Soon, you could hear chewing sounds. You saw a huge wild boar munching nearby. Its sharp tusks scraped together with a grinding sound. You quickly scanned the terrain around you. A plan forms instantly in your mind. You point at a massive ancient tree to the wild boar's left. "I'll distract it from the front." You circle behind the tree. "I'll lure it towards the tree. Wait for the moment it stops." That's your cue. Hearing this, Wang Meng worries if I can stab through them. But you just smile and pat the long blade at your waist. "I'll deliver the final blow." Wang Meng nods firmly at last. With that, you both move into action. You pick up a stone. You hurl it hard at the boar. The stone hits dead center. In the next second, the boar lets out a furious roar. Then it whips around and charges right at you. The ground trembles with its steps. But you show no fear. You just lock eyes with the wild boar. Just as it's about to ram into you, you push off with your feet. And instantly leap to the side, dodging the charge by a hair. The boar crashes into the ancient tree from the momentum. Its huge body freezes up right away. Wang Meng bursts from behind the tree with a loud yell. He grips his spear tightly and stabs it with all his might at the boar's neck. The sharp spearhead pierces its hide in an instant. Blood spurts out like a fountain. At the same time, the boar screams in pain. It thrashes wildly, trying to shake Wang Meng off. But Wang Meng holds the spear tight and gives it everything he's got. Just as things get critical, you appear on the side, gripping your long knife. A cold arc flashes through the air. A deep cut opens right on the boar's major artery. The roar stops instantly. The boar keeps twitching, but the fierce look in its eyes quickly fades. Finally, it collapses heavily to the ground and doesn't move again. Wang Meng is gasping for air, saying, "We actually got it." But you don't even look at the boar. Instead, you walk to where it was eating. You dig up the earth and pull out an odd-shaped tuber. "Meng, we've hit the jackpot. It's black truffle. Fry it with pork tenderloin. And it's gonna smell amazing." Hearing this, Wang Meng's eyes light up. What are we waiting for? Let's dig up more and show everyone. With that, you two start digging like crazy. Soon, a dozen truffles are packed up. Then you and Wang Meng haul up the boar together and start heading back to camp. On the way, Wang Meng suddenly stops. He raises his hand and points into the distance. Gua, look over there. You follow where he's pointing. Way off on the ridge, a thin line of blue smoke is rising. You stay calm and say it's too far away. Let's leave it for now. Let's head back to camp first. We can check later once we've settled in. Wang Meng nods at your words. The two of you keep dragging the boar back. Back at camp, Lang Yu is teaching Zhao Ziqian to plant sweet potatoes. Lin Yihan is washing everyone's dirty clothes nearby. And the cow and her calf are grazing peacefully. Right then, Wang Meng calls out, "We're back." Everyone looks up. When they see the huge wild boar, all their eyes go wide. Lang Yu rushes over. She circles the boar, checking it out. This must be over 300 pounds. How did you even kill it? Hearing this, Wang Meng starts bragging right away. A moment later, they start butchering the boar. Wang Meng sets up the camp cooking pot. Then slices open the boar's neck. Blood pours out instantly. All of it caught in the pot. Wang Meng handles it like a pro. He makes sure every part of the boar is handled perfectly. Lang Yu frowns and says, "That's way too much meat. No way we finish it soon. We'll need to cure it as bacon to preserve it." You nod. And pull out a few truffles from your pack. Saying, "Let's make something really good today." Around noon, the campfire is blazing. You grill wild boar meat over it. The pot nearby is simmering spare rib soup. Soon, you slice the truffles super thin and sprinkle them on the roasted meat. A unique aroma fills the air instantly. The barbecue turns golden brown soon. You call everyone over to eat. The pork skin is crisp and crunchy. The inside is juicy and tender. And after roasting, the truffle slices give off an amazing scent. Everyone dives in, unable to wait. They all take a bite. And their faces light up in surprise. Such shocked looks everywhere. Then you pull out monkey wine. Wang Meng quickly pours for everyone. Soon, the five of you raise your cups. You look around and say loudly, "For this meal. Cheers, to Longua." The mugs clink together the next second. With a deep, heavy sound. The vibe is warm and lively. In the global stream, countless viewers are drooling at the sight. After eating and drinking their fill, everyone leans on the wooden stakes, satisfied and resting. You eye the cow and her calf. You say, "We've got too much meat and loot now. We can't carry it all back. Even hauling iron ore by hand is too slow. Let's build a cart this afternoon." With a cart and ox, hauling things or plowing land gets way easier. Much better efficiency. Wang Meng slaps his thigh and says, "You call the shots." "Gua, my man. Whatever you say, we do." Everyone else quickly agrees. Their eyes full of hope for the future. The afternoon sun isn't so harsh now. Even the wind in the valley feels cooler. The ox cart project is rolling right along. You point to a few straight hardwoods not far away. Wang Meng and Lang Yu are in charge of the timber. We need 2 straight logs for the main beams. And some arm-thick ones for crossbeams and shafts. As soon as they're assigned, they get to work fast. Heading off to the trees separately. Soon, chopping sounds echo in the woods. You turn to the other two. You tell Ihan and Ziqian to collect as many vines as they can. The more, the better. Peel the vines, pound them with rocks. Then use them to make ropes and fence the cart bed. They nod hard at your words. Then grab knives and slip into the bushes. Once the jobs are handed out, you walk over to the clay furnace. Then, haul all the leftover iron ore and charcoal over. Time to make axles and wheel reinforcements. These are the most important parts for the ox cart. You layer charcoal and ore in the furnace. Then connect the bellows to the air intake. As the bellows are pumped steadily, the flame inside burns hotter and hotter. Time ticks by. The ore inside starts to melt. Soon, molten metal flows out. You grab 2 cooking pots and head for the deep pool, getting water for quenching. As the pots hit the icy stream, that familiar mechanical voice plays. Longua player Xiaogua has used a fixed water source for 7 days straight. Triggered 10,000-fold return. 10,000 living water springs now appear all over Longua. The announcement spreads like a stone tossed into a lake, making huge waves around the world. And you're already back up at the tall building. You use solid wood clamps to guide the molten iron out. Then pour it into a damp rectangular groove. The molten iron touches the wet clay. It instantly makes a loud sound. A thick white mist rises right away. Soon the iron cools down a bit. It hardens into a rough iron ingot. You quickly clamp it out. Put it on a huge piece of granite. Then use a dagger to carve a notch at one end of the ingot. Finally you stick a piece of hardwood in. Next comes repeated hammering. The iron ingot. You forcefully hammer it into an almost perfect cylinder. By now, Cold Moon and Wang Meng are back at camp. Wang Meng looks at you wide-eyed. Bro, you must have been a blacksmith in your last life. You don't answer. Just keep working, fully focused. Then you forge 4 round iron hoops. And 2 disc-shaped iron pieces with markings in the center. To reinforce the wooden wheels. Cold Moon quietly watches from the side. He can feel your pure skill and confidence. While you're forging metal parts. Others aren't just standing around. The women follow your instructions. And start assembling the finished parts. Once all the woodworking and metalwork is done. The key assembly step begins. You fit the red-hot iron hoop onto the wooden wheel edge. The sharp smell of burning and white smoke rise up. You grab a pot of water and pour it over the iron hoop. The hoop shrinks quickly as it cools. It perfectly tightens onto the wood wheel. Finally, all the parts are linked and fixed in place. Time slowly passes. A simple ox-drawn cart appears before everyone. Everyone gathers around the cart. Faces full of pride. After a moment, Linihan brings the cow over. You and Wang make a simple yoke with animal hide. And carefully put it on the cow. The cow willingly lowers her head. Very cooperative. Then you connect the yoke to the cart's shaft. Next, you load a few giant stones onto the cart. The reins are gently pulled. The cow lets out a soft moo and slowly steps forward. Next moment. The wooden wheels press 2 deep tracks into the grass. Linihan jumps up excitedly when she sees this. We did it. We really made it. The others watch this scene. Eyes full of sparkle. Right now, the future is in your hands like a scroll. As it unfolds. It's a beautiful landscape. People in the painting have food and clothes. Everyone's faces beam with happy smiles.